never get fucking tired of that movie.
No, hold on. Hold up.
Hot damn.
Let's get ready to suck it!
Good afternoon.
Alrighty, welcome to the program, everybody. It's the Time Spent Poorly show with your host, the guy that's not on camera. Now I am. Hello, I'm Edwardo, right here. And also joining me today, as always, old Hudds himself right over there, and brother Ron. Thanks again for joining me, fellas. We're here. We've got a great show today. Guess I better get this on my other ear.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
You can't hear yourself if you can't.
Yeah, felt kind of like an out-of-body experience. But if you've got a drink, like I do.
It looks great on yours. We have all kinds of nonsense.
I wonder if I'm going to get sponsored for this, but yeah.
All kinds of nonsense? Oh. You got it fixed over there?
Yeah.
Sponsors? Yeah, I
all
worked,
that shit.
I worked
sincerely doubt it, but
I worked for a minute to get a Weinhardt
Neon sign.
light.
Oh.
But I think I just emailed the bot because I couldn't actually get anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
With it.
I call her Tina. Every time I get a bot, I just call her Tina.
Oh man.
The female version of me. Christopher, Christina, Tina. I break it down.
Well, welcome to the show. If this is first time joining us, you can find all of our episodes, all of our content over at timespentpoorly.com. That is the website to go to get everything. You can subscribe to all of our different social networks over there, the YouTube, the Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to blow up and become hugely successful.
I don't want to work for a living. I want my kids to be like Will Smith rich.
Yeah.
So fucking do it, people.
Andrew K. Woo!
What's up, Jake Matthews?
Jake Matthews.
Wait,
hey, Jake. Thanks
Matthews,
for joining us.
Are you, Jake, message, are you or are you not related to Corey Matthews? Do I know you?
You probably know Jake.
He meant Dave Matthews. Are you related to Dave Matthews?
No. If it's who I'm thinking of, his big brother is like one of genuinely my best friends, and I love Jake to death, and I literally haven't seen him in like a fucking decade, man.
That's a minute.
Yeah, it's yeah. I partied before I became a dad, so you know, you meet people.
Yeah, you do. You meet a folk or two. So how's your 2 weeks been? It seems like every time we meet, it's every 2 weeks. So
yeah,
how has it been? It's
been interesting. I went over to Montana, saw my grandma over. I turned 41 in the intro.
That's right. I sent you a nasty message about being like a little 41-year-old bitch boy or something.
Yeah. So.
Oh no! I just said happy birthday, motherfucker.
He said, "Yeah."
Oh, Jake, I love you. Hi.
You just thought that other one.
No, because you're a year and a few months older than I am.
I was gonna say when you're that close, you can't. Yeah,
I'm just jelly because I'm not a 40-year-old bitch boy anymore.
Jake Matthews says, "Good to see you via internet," but yeah, man, it's been over a decade or so.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time.
Well, you guys are gonna have to catch up.
Hit me up on Facebook.
Kiss on the lips.
Send each other dick pics.
All right. So, I have a little story to tell.
Good.
Yes.
My wife went and she took her. This is the part of this program before as we're warming up, where we kind of work into the material, folks. If you're watching or listening, this is where we kind of like give updates on our personal goings on, if you want.
Right.
If you have anything.
This
to
is
talk
the part
about.
You fast forward through.
Yeah.
I've got a
that's
2 minute.
That's what that little 15-second hook thing is on the side. So just zip until you hear us saying DC Universe.
I don't give a fuck about your marriage, Ward. Talk about Cobra Kai.
I want to know what happened to Danny LaRusso.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Your wife.
Who's stabbing the side into the floor?
She took the car to get the oil change the other day, and we bought the car earlier this year, so they owed us they threw in 3 free oil changes. Should have been oil changes for life, in my opinion. But
free maintenance.
We got Matt Warner.
That's my
Oh,
nephew
no,
right
that's
there.
my son.
Hey.
Hi, son.
He came out of the nuts right next to me.
That
Heyo.
is a thing that, yeah, both of my kids are listening. So, hi, guys. Annabelle, you're 4, and I love you very much.
Mars is on too. I'm sure.
I miss you already. But anyway,
we've got a young demo. Yeah, so
right.
so she took it in, and they come out, and we've been through
Up
this.
next, 10 things you didn't know about Paw Patrol. Where did you buy your car? If I can ask that without blowing up somebody on
Honda.
Okay.
Honda. Okay. Troy or Mick McClure Honda, right?
Yeah.
Not Troy McClure Honda.
No, it's whatever this one.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. Bell's not.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Well, she won't get anything out of this anyway, but you will. So I love you. But anyway, so you went to Honda to get the oil changed.
So we went to Honda to get the oil changed. And in doing so, they bring out this thing, and all dealerships do this. This isn't like uncommon for a dealership to do, but they're like, or they didn't bring anything out. They're like, hey, your cabin filter's dirty on your car. And so would you like us to change it? It'll be $65.
No.
And she sent me a text, and I was like, tell them no. And after I hit that, I'm like, I Google how much the cabin filter is.
It's like a $3 part.
It's $20.
Okay.
So it would have been $45 in labor to squeeze the side of the jockey box, pull the whole jockey box down, unclip the thing, pull out the filter. I did it already. It's done. But she goes, because we've done this before too, where they tell you something and it's not really an issue. So she's like, well, show me. So they went through the whole labor process of taking the filter out.
Wait,
showing her the dirty filter.
This?
Yes.
That's fucking great.
She made them show her the filter. So they brought in the filter. She's like, yeah, okay, you can put it back in. My husband's going to do it.
I admire your wife.
Your wife wears her ovaries on the outside.
Sometimes it's really impressive.
And she's like, so she calls me. She's like, yeah, it's dirty. I'll pick up one on the way home. I'm like, okay. So
it's not something you could have vacuumed out and used for 6 more months.
Maybe.
Yeah. I always feel that way about stuff in cars. Like we just throw shit away too quick. Like maybe you could keep 2, dig it out of the trash.
Yeah, you know how many times I spray out my the filter I have for my like shop vac. I hose that fucker out like probably 25 times before I put a new one in.
Oh, yeah. Those, but they're designed to be done. You know that I don't know that the filters in the car.
Well, you could. Well, I could probably
I don't know,
use some duster spray.
But...
It says mic is muted. Is that the computer's mic on this end?
You are not muted.
Okay. I just noticed that at the top of our video.
Well, the audio that we're feeding through is coming from my computer.
Got it.
And if I turned your mic on, then we'd have feedback.
Then it vanished because it heard me talking about it. It's back again.
Okay.
Jesus.
Spooky.
Eduardo has shifted things around.
Stop listening to us, computer.
Weirdo. Now it's going to try and sell us cabin air filters.
What's really creepy is like, so not to jump too far into what we're talking about, but on the subject of this, yesterday when I was watching Cobra Kai, I recognized who was it? The Tori, the new girl. I recognized her from some Disney type show that I had seen with Matthew. And I was like, I've seen this person before, but I don't know where I've seen this girl before. And so I literally pulled up my phone and started to type in Cobra Kai 2 season 2 cast. And all I had to type in was COB. And it knew that I wanted.
Well, part of that
season 2
is it's listening to you.
Yeah.
And part of it is it was the top
watch thing. So it's going to autofill stuff that's like popular,
dude.
In that
Jenny, okay, so this hasn't popped. Yeah. God bless. And I just want to say this: as much as I hate our society, and as much as I hate so much of the world right now, I am so happy that we live in the age of YouTube, because you can literally learn how to fucking do anything.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't even go to wood shop in high school, and I learned how to completely sand, refinish, and stain a dresser just from like 3 This Old House YouTube videos, and it looks badass.
Was that Bob Vila?
That was his show, but these videos didn't have
I learned how to make floors not squeak from that guy.
Dude, yeah, it's fucking amazing. I love YouTube.
It's way too much work for me to do and not pay someone else to do because I'm fucking lazy.
Stupid shit, but there is so much useful information on YouTube.
As long as we're dropping stuff from life.
Yeah, drop away.
Mara started preschool today.
Yeah, I was going to say Annabelle started preschool here just the other day too.
I dropped her off this morning. Jenny and I went and dropped her off, and then I came to pick her up, and they brought me the wrong child. Like, I mean, it was a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl, so you know.
Just take her.
Oh,
but
man.
this little girl had masking tape on her back that said Mara. She had my daughter's jacket and her binky. And they'd been calling her Mara all day. They'd been calling Mara Stella all day. I assume like, Stella! With a little streetcar. And I'm like, did you do some plastic surgery? And the lady's like, what? I was like, that's not my daughter. What do you mean? I was like, that's not Mara Huddleston.
I mean, that's
like,
a different human than the one I'm here to pick up.
That's not who got out of my car when I dropped her off this morning. And in this day and age where you can sell kids to the Maxwell woman and that Epstein dude.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's really bad timing.
Luckily, that little girl's mom was standing like next in line behind me.
Oh, no kidding.
And was like, is this stuff your daughter's stuff? Because my daughter hasn't used a binky since she was 4 months old. She carries spoons around and chews on them. Like, right on, Stella. And I was like, yeah, that's Mara's stuff. But that's not Mara.
She's got a new nickname now out of the deal, though. She'll be Stella probably till the day we die now.
So the lady comes back with Mars, and Mars is just covered in food because that's how Mara is. She's my little bottomless pit. Aren't you, sweetheart? I know you're watching. And she's like, hi, Dad, and wanders over to me. And then she says, I'm a papa. And then she just says, Amy, which is my sister. I was like, yeah, we're in Clarkston, but I'm not gonna, and Amy's at work. I can't like take you over to her house right now. So anyway, yeah, I got the wrong kid today. It was weird.
You should have just taken her, man.
You know,
should have just tossed her in the trunk.
And then came back for your kid.
Called up Maxwell. Like, hey, Ghislaine, I know you're in prison, but I got one for you.
You could have really freaked the other parents out and like,
I got one of these.
Just picked the kid up over your head and been like, whose kid is this?
I offer you as tribute.
I've got yours. Who the fuck's got mine?
Where's mine? I want to make a deal. Let's make a trade. No. Yeah, not a heartening start.
No, back to school. My daughter Annabelle started preschool for the first time. She goes 3 times a week and she absolutely loves it. My son is back in school in Clarkston, which is really interesting because he only goes for 2.5 hours a day, 4 times a week. And he has to wear a mask the whole time that he's there.
Wow.
Which is really interesting. But I'm not here to talk about COVID.
I was the only parent without a mask on. It was awesome. I felt like a god. Like all these people just terrified. Like, fuck you, fucking coward.
I don't
put your fucking muzzle on.
I don't think I've seen a person now. Let's see. I dropped Matthew off at school because, for one, it's nice to still be able to do it while I can before he's too fucking old for me to allow me to do it. Yeah. And for 2, it's on the way to dropping Annabelle off at school because he goes at 12:30 and she goes at 1. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've seen a parent there making a drop off or a pickup wearing a mask now that I'm racking my brain for it.
So it's not mandatory in Washington anymore?
It's mandatory if you're inside a business, but it's not mandatory if you're like just out in public. Like I saw something online, which of course is the most accurate place to get your news, but I saw something online that was saying that the Pullman PD was going to be really cracking down on people. Like, even if you were just out walking on the fucking sidewalk, they were going to cite you if you didn't have a mask on.
Those people can lick my fucking ass.
Right, yeah, right. Like, no, sorry.
No, I'm not signing your ticket. I'm not even recognizing your authority at this point. You're a joke.
But
officer douche.
In Clarkston, I haven't really seen that. I mean, of course, you still see, God bless them. More power to you folks. If there's any of you that are listening, yes, definitely wear your mask when you're driving alone in your car. You're doing the world a favor and keep it up.
I love you and your oxygen deprived brain, you fucking monkey.
You.
Wear it just around, like take it and wear it, but then just like leave the car running and then kind of like stick the end of it over your muffler before the muffler gets too hot because you don't want to burn your face.
The trick is
suck in.
You keep the mask on and you run the garden hose from the muffler into your back window, which is cracked down, and you just drive around like that.
Tuck a towel in there.
It's scientifically proven. I read an article on Facebook.
It'll cure the COVID.
No, it cancels it out.
Oh,
yeah. It's if you've ever had the extreme fortune as I have of working with the public and having someone tell you, no, I'm not worried about it, I'm immune. That's how you get immune, is you drive around and breathe in your own fucking exhaust until you're that stupid.
There's enough people out there sniffing their own farts. I'm sure that a little car exhaust won't hurt them.
No joke, man. My friend Gary and I were having a conversation about it just the other day because he's an artist, like he gets paid to art, like trading card things. Like, he's really fucking talented and I admire the shit out of him. But he works at home by contract for like companies like Topps and stuff like that. And he has not worked with the general public in like over a decade.
Yeah.
And even before then, he didn't really work with them a lot. So he is trying to understand this like massive disparity of idiocy in our country. And like, his argument is always, why is there such a big gap between the average person and the idiots that you see? And what I keep trying to explain to him is, no, there is a much smaller gap between the idiots that you see and the average person than there is between the average person and the actual informed person. He has this like weird misconception that your average person, I've used the Carlin quote on him twice. Imagine how dumb the average person is, and then realize half of them are dumber than that. I've told him that twice. And literally, I shit you not, 2 days ago when he posted something on Facebook about it, somebody else who has no idea that we had these conversations referenced that exact same quote of, dude, you have to understand, you don't deal with people. So you don't see what the rest of us see.
The Beard and I were talking about that.
You even get that to a lesser extent. You're better with people than he is. But I mean, in terms of working with the general public and interacting with the general public, you are not what I would consider the norm of your daily interactions with just anybody on the street. No, you don't have to deal with people nearly as often as Warder I do.
No, God, no. I don't have to deal with people almost at all. I don't want to.
God bless you. Fuck. I want to get there.
No, I deal with an ingenious nearly 2-year-old.
Right.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
No, I had a man. This is a good story. So I had a gentleman come in to Canada for Life and explain to me how he didn't need a mask and he wasn't worried about all that COVID nonsense because he had talked to his doctor. And this is not me direct quoting, but a couple of these little fragments of it are direct quotes. He said he wasn't worried about getting it. He had spoken to his doctor because of the fact that he had been bitten by a rat previously. He was immune, but that people didn't need to be so worried about their masks because he had been told that if you sat down on something like a park bench or a chair, the perspiration from your ass would I'm not fucking joking here, man. The perspiration from your ass would transfer the virus to the next person who sat down. And I said to this guy,
is there a time limit on this?
I said to this guy, straight faced, I said, dude, if your ass is that wet, you have bigger problems than COVID. And he just stared, like he didn't understand. He's genuinely full-blown convinced that this is a real thing.
His rat bites got him covered.
Yeah, something.
I wonder.
So I should be all right. I got bit by a stripper in Vegas once.
Yeah,
I should
which
be
is
just
the
fine.
same thing as a rat. So.
That's not true.
But anyway,
Yeah.
other than school, I don't really have much new in my life at the moment. Football starts on Thursday, but Derek's not here to talk about the sports program. Go, Derek. I love you.
Yeah.
I will have to come on the show, though, so that we can talk football now that football's actually back.
Was like 3 days from now.
Thursday night.
So it
Supposed
is
to be a
being,
big deal.
It is being played. They're
Yeah.
playing it.
Kansas City versus Houston.
Wow.
And then there's games. Actually, football trivia fact that probably only interests me. Sunday, when the Bucks play the Saints, meaning Tom Brady versus Drew Brees, it'll be the first time in the history of the NFL that two starting quarterbacks were over the age of 40 playing against each other, from what I saw on a Twitter post today.
Wow.
So
That's
and what's going to be really interesting is the Saints are probably going to fucking trounce them, and Tom Brady's going to come out in his premiere of Tampa Bay and get slaughtered by the Saints.
so. How old was Joe Montana? Like he just like when he retired, he was probably late 30s.
I think he was, I want to say either 36 or 39.
But he
I think it
looked.
was
But
36.
when I was a kid watching him, I'm like, God, that dude's like 60. Like your concept of what age is really
Mm-hmm.
out of whack.
Montana wasn't one that got me that way. Terry Bradshaw was one. Yeah.
I
Got
can't
me
stand
that
that
way.
fucking dude.
Because I still like watching him play football because he was a great quarterback. I think he's irritating as an announcer, but I grew up watching a lot of those old Steelers games and stuff. Like that's one of the reasons why I'm a Steelers fan. And you know, he had the Hulk Hogan style early onset baldness, and like I got that totally from him. Of like, dude, how fucking old is this guy?
Yeah.
But I didn't get that so much from Joe Montana. Jim Kelly was kind of that way. He was another one that was big when I was a kid. That I was like, dude, is Jim Kelly like 50?
I think it's just those guys always look older when you're a kid. You just
Yeah.
think
Oh,
that
yeah.
they're
Oh yeah.
think that somebody's older than they actually are. You
Yeah.
look at like Brady though. He doesn't look that old. Looks
Or Alec Guinness.
he looks older now, but he doesn't look.
He still it like in the face. He doesn't look terribly different now than he did fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
So it's weird how you view a person
I'll never
when you're
forget.
a kid versus when you view them on your.
Remember when Randy Orton won the world title for the very first time, and the very first thing we said was, Rick, Randy Orton's the WWE world champion and he's younger than you. How does that make you feel? Like,
Yeah.
that was the first time that I really like put my age in comparison to sports figures
Yeah.
of like, because now I look at it and like that, who was that kid that came out and got signed by the Lakers, but then they dumped him because his dad was a douchebag that was like straight out of high school. That was
Oh, that
supposed to
kid
be-
was so fucking good, and his
He was-
dad was
yeah.
such a loser.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be like the new Michael Jordan, LeBron type guy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this dude was 18. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm fucking twice his age. So I've clearly done something wrong. Like, like
Yep.
Yeah.
that Randy Orton winning that because he was, what was he, like 23 or 24?
Yeah.
And
And I was 23 or 24.
yeah, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You zigged when you should have zagged, man.
Yeah, there's people in careers that you see. You're like, you get to a certain age where you're like, oh,
Mhm.
they actually were already in the throes of like having a successful career. I'm in the throes of like just working towards retirement at this point.
Right. Like I,
Right.
I haven't been a successful anything in my entire life.
CEOs.
Mm-hmm.
How do you
Yes,
become a
Jake,
CEO?
That's Lonzo Ball. That's who I'm talking about. Thank you. Yes. I don't remember his dad's name, but yeah, Lonzo Ball was the kid's name.
The Ball family.
Another person I can think of that aged, that I aged as a lot older person when I was younger was George Lucas.
Same.
It was that waddle,
Well, yeah,
It's, yeah,
and,
part of
but,
it's the neck.
his
The-
little turkey
his
neck or
movies-
bullfrog neck. Yeah.
but this was like the 80s. His movies had come out, and so then I was talking to my parents at one time, and he's like, "Yeah, he wants to make another trilogy." And this was well before, like probably a dozen years before, or 10 years before he actually started working on the other trilogy. And I remember saying, like, my parents laughed because I was like, well, he better hurry up because he'll probably die.
Yeah.
Or do it before he dies.
I'm sure your parents loved that.
But he's not that much.
Motherfucker, he's 4 years younger than me.
Well, no, I mean, that was just the perception.
No,
he's not that much older than.
I had the
What is he,
exact same.
like dad's age?
He's probably
I
72
think he's
now.
probably 70 by
Oh,
now,
so
but
he's a decade older than dad.
Yeah, but I mean, I
But
would have guessed when
But
the
30
prequels
years
came
ago,
out,
when I was asking, he was still
With his
young.
Santa Claus
20
beard.
years ago when the prequels came out, I would have guessed he was like 60 or 70.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he's a I don't know. He didn't he aged fast.
Hashtag give George Star Wars back. Fuck Kathleen.
He's
Kennedy.
talking about it.
I hope they do
Did you
it.
see that article last week?
Yeah, I hope they do it.
He's
Kathleen
like, I'm going to
Kennedy
make
killed
mine.
Star Wars. How do you take one of the biggest, most recognizable brands in the world and make people dislike it?
Oh, I know. Give it to a woman.
Well,
what's he going to do with it?
give it to a committee who doesn't have a plan.
What's he going to do with it, though?
He wants
Who knows?
he wants to make his original plan.
Who knows?
But with
Fuck, leave it alone.
The original
Honestly, Star Wars
set of
I am not
6,
the first
7, 8,
person to
or
say
7,
this,
8,
but
9.
unless you want to bring in something like the Solo movie, which is basically just a fucking heist movie wrapped up in a Star Wars film, or you want to do like The Mandalorian, which is just a Western wrapped up in a Star Wars film, Star Wars is fucking creatively bankrupt.
Yeah.
It's lightsabers and AT-ATs and the Force and the Sith and the Jedi, and fuck it. I love Star Wars to death, but they need to just leave it alone unless they actually have something that they want to do with it that matters, like The Mandalorian or something.
They haven't
God,
told the
Mandalorian
story.
is good.
It's
though.
great.
And I'm super hyped for the Obi-Wan thing because I'm a big Obi-Wan fan. He's my second favorite Jedi after Qui-Gon.
I would just rather have, like I said, give me Star Wars stories that exist in the Star Wars universe that have fuck all to do with anything that has to do with the Star Wars.
Just
movies.
pick a period that hasn't been hit. I mean, there's plenty of time in
like I
the
said,
Old Republic
that
they could run with.
Like I said, they did the Solo movie, and the Solo movie literally could have been about any person in the Star Wars universe. They just elected to make it about Han Solo.
And
but
it
that
was
guy
fun.
could have not been Han Solo, and that movie still would have been not bad.
Mhm.
It's not great, but it's not bad. And you look at The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is Star Wars only in dress up. The music, the cinematography, the way that it's paced, everything. It is a fucking old school Italian Western in space clothes.
Yeah.
I think I'd watch Solo again before I'd watch any of the new trilogy movies.
I will never watch any of the new trilogy movies again. They did what Game of Thrones did, where they ruined the initial setup by the payoff being so bad. Because now when you go back and watch the setup, you know what comes. So you don't even care about the setup because you know that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
They retroactively ruined the previous stuff.
They kind of did that with Lost too.
Yeah, exactly. Notice
because I can't.
Abrams.
Well, yeah.
I think he's trash. I don't like his stuff. It's all
like
great the first time you watch it because you're so caught up in how fast paced it is,
and
but it doesn't carry
all the motions. But
none of it carries.
It's
you can't rewatch it.
Mm-mm.
It's something that Stephen King touches on in a couple of his books too, and it's an explanation for why some of his endings are as weak as they are. When you set out to write a story and you don't know what the end is going to be, at the end result, the story itself suffers.
Yeah,
because you're figuring it out as you go, and the stories that stand the test of time, they don't fucking figure it out as they go.
Begin with the end.
They know they know what's gonna. They know where they're gonna start. You look at Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is a great example because Vince Gilligan's pitch was, I'm gonna take this guy who is like fucking Andy Griffith, and I'm gonna turn him into Scarface. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna figure that out as I go. But that's going to be my end result. You have to have that definitive end in mind. Otherwise, you do like what Lost did. You contradict yourself over and over again.
Right.
Or you do what the Star Wars movies did, where you just make everything that happened previously not matter.
Right.
Did you watch Justified?
Yes.
Not all of it.
Justified's one. I don't think they had an ending planned.
They didn't have
but
anything
they had,
planned.
but they because it didn't start out the same with the same
Yeah.
direction, and it was also adapted from Elmore Leonard's
from a short story called Fire in the Hole.
Yeah. So what they did with it was they created this basically this conflict between Boyd and
Raylan.
Raylan.
Hello, Raylan.
That overarched over the whole 7 seasons or whatever. But then every season had its villain of the season, which made it great.
Dexter tried to do that.
Dexter
failed.
Dexter did well up through season 4, I think.
Up through like Colin Hanks, really.
I didn't
like the Colin Hanks stuff. That's when it fell off. Really, I guess you could say
Lithgow was my last favorite.
Once Lithgow was
great
gone.
season.
Once Lithgow was gone, it was pretty much.
Which was
but Jimmy
4.
Smits was all right.
It was just so. It just started to get so crazy.
That belongs on his tombstone.
Jimmy Smits was all right. Except
Except
in Sons of Anarchy, he was a high point. He probably saved that toward the end.
But that show was getting so bad by the end that he was a breath of fresh air.
Absolutely. Anyway. What an overcarry.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that show ultimately ended made me have zero interest in the Mayan.
I never watched an episode.
You know what's funny? I missed all of the final season except the final episode because it aired on my birthday, and the minute and a half of lead up of like, this is what you missed last was all I needed to catch up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know who the cop that was in charge of the town was, but she didn't matter. Like nobody fucking mattered.
The Walking Dead. You can watch the season premiere and the season finale. And as long as before you watch the season finale, you watch the little previously on thing, those are the only 2 episodes that you have to watch. I put it to the test in, I don't even know what season it was, but the season that the Asian dude died, where they faked out with his death and then he wound up actually dying anyway. I did that with that season because my mom was still watching the show at the time.
His name is Glenn.
Glenn, thank you.
You could also do with The Walking Dead. Instead of watching The Walking Dead,
not
watch the back of your eyelids.
Yeah,
you can just nap.
I checked out when the governor showed up.
I still watch
a long time ago,
but
I don't know, halfway through The Farm, really.
Yeah,
like
it was
that
already
fucking season.
It was already losing me, but
they're looking for that little girl, and she's in the goddamn barn the whole time, and they have walkers in the barn. Like, what's wrong with you people?
Honestly, once it got out of what's his name's hands, it just slowly
Darabont.
Yeah, because he was going at it from a real artistic.
Dude, season 1 is.
I'm so glad they killed Shane so he could go be the Punisher.
Amongst other things, dude, he's great.
I love John Bernthal.
He's great in everything. He was the best part of The Accountant.
I don't think I saw that.
The one with
I
Ben
tried
Affleck.
to watch it, but I think I kept falling. It's that one where he's like autistic or something.
Yeah, or he's on the spectrum at least. But yeah, him and what's her face? Who's that cute girl from Pitch Perfect?
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, thank you.
I saw her on a.
It was a good show, but again, John Bernthal was the best part of the movie because Ben Affleck, when he's on, but when he's not, man, he's woof.
I don't like her at all in person. Like I've seen her in interviews and stuff, and she does that like vocal fry shit all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. Like just go throw your Pitch Perfect ass in the river.
Every time that I've ever like seen an interview with her or anything, she seems like a very relatable type of person.
I get the feeling, but from what I've seen, that seems like an act.
Yeah, I was going to say that could very easily be a facade. She could just be, hey, no, I'll play to my audience. And if I look like you're approachable every girl, then more people, because that's totally a thing. I mean,
I like a lot of her work though. Like she's a decent enough actress.
She's not bad. That movie she did with Blake Lively, the
one where the
Simple Plan or
Simple
like Favor or whatever it was, that was supposed to be all like
I've been meaning to watch that
sexual thriller. It was fucking dumb.
Was it?
Like it was aggressively stupid. It was not good.
It's one of those ones that I put on my list to watch, but I don't want to watch it when I'm going to fall asleep. And so I just end up not watching it.
Yeah, I have a few of those.
Project Power was that way until I watched it. That's fun.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Okay. I still haven't watched it.
I fucking love Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Jamie Foxx as rational man with shotgun is awesome. And that's what he is.
Okay.
He walks around and just fucking guns people down.
I can get behind that.
And, you find out later.
And I really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, he's good at everything. And the little girl that raps in it, like I'm not a big rap person, but she raps like a motherfucker. Like, wow, respect. And what else? I don't know. That's about all. It's not It's kind of nifty because people only get like 5 minutes of superpowers every time they take this pill, and if they take too many, they overdose and their body shuts down or their cells catch fire or something. But so you have to. Everybody's got a little Casio that has a 5-minute timer set to it, and they take their pill and do their powers, and nobody knows what their power is going to be till they take the pill, and then after that, like, you can kind of plan your shit from there. Now, but there's all kinds of cool like rules to it that I like. If you
that fucking mic arm, I fucked with it for 20 minutes today to try, and every time I do that, it'd go whoop.
Now, do you get the same powers every time that you take?
Every time.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Do I fly this time? Am I invisible this time? Like, that'd be wild.
Yeah, your shit doesn't change. Okay. But you could have one that just your whole body melts.
Like a bad batch or something? Or like,
no, like your genes just
fentanyl in
that's your power
pill. And
I think
this is fucking horse tranquilizer.
And this is just the first scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's saying that to these kids who are trying to steal it from this girl, and he's like, "You don't know. You might get one, and you might just explode. You don't know what your power is going to be." And I don't know if he's just bluffing him, because nobody actually takes one and just dies. Except the dude who has fire, and then it's because he takes too many and his body just can't handle it. But I assume like somebody could, and you find out later that all of the powers are derived from some sort of animal source. And so like you take it and you manifest some ability that an animal has. And like, I don't know what animal's bulletproof, but that's the one that Joseph Gordon-Levitt got.
Rhinos.
Yeah, rhinos.
I lost
bears and rhinos and shit.
You can't hear yourself anymore.
I can hear you just fine.
You? Okay.
Yeah.
You sound buttery as ever.
This microphone is fucking trying to nose fuck me in.
It's trying to bang you out nasally.
Yeah, rhinos are bulletproof, man. Come on.
Kind of.
Read a Spider-Man.
You get a rhino.
Speaking of rhinos, I fell asleep watching a World's Most Dangerous Animals thing yesterday, and rhinos was like the number. That was the one I fell asleep on. But man, they're built like a fucking tank.
Yeah. Yeah, they're awesome. My favorite unicorn is a rhino.
They're wonders of nature, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we get to the point, or
what's the point? What are we here for? What do we come on here for?
Well, we were going to talk about Cobra Kai because we all watched it,
amongst other things.
Well, you see my background.
Yeah. You did another terrifying fucking Photoshop with my face in it.
I'm just gonna.
You kind of look like Jeremy Renner.
I always kind of look like Jeremy Renner.
As Hawkeye.
This is no vanity, but I looked a lot better with the actual mohawk that I had as opposed to that one.
Yeah, you rocked that.
I did, man. I was actually proud of it. I didn't keep it for long, but it worked.
It was all right.
I've had worse hair. That's for fucking sure. Which is weird to say, but yeah.
I've had worse than a mohawk. I was a big fan of Hawk, though. I thought he was a good character.
Yeah,
I didn't like him, but I liked the character.
It's one of the things that I'll get to when we talk about the show, but remind me about that and about the strength of the characters, because I had something that I wanted to discuss.
The writing is consistently good. Are we just going to jump into Cobra Kai then?
Yeah,
let's do that.
Let me.
Okay, yeah.
Let me just give a little
we're going off book here.
Refresher. No, so with Cobra Kai, what's interesting is it premiered like a little over 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
On YouTube TV. And it did
YouTube Red.
Yeah, YouTube Red.
Now YouTube Premium.
Yes.
We're on YouTube, and I would love it if they would throw us some of that premium cash.
So it was good. It ended up being, it was a really good, ended up being a good show. And then the second season came and it was enjoyable as well, but not a lot of people saw it. You watched what, the first couple
I watched
episodes?
The first 3 episodes when they were free, and it really, like, episode 4, it's like they took the muzzle off LaRusso's wife, and she's the best character in the whole show.
Yeah.
She's consistently funny. And in the 4th episode, she drops an F-bomb. She's making dick jokes. She's talking about her husband blowing people because there's a spray painted dick on a billboard. It
really
funny.
turns the corner right there in terms of it's like you can tell what they made to pitch and what they made after they had secured their pitch.
Yeah.
They knew where they were going to land.
Of like, are we going to get picked up for broadcast TV and have to keep this PG, or are we?
Well, and they're not super fast and loose with all like with F-bombs either.
No, there's probably
only
3 of them.
There's maybe 3 throughout the whole series because they still want your kids to watch.
Right.
There were more in the second season than especially at the end. And it wasn't that
the second season had a lot of heightened conflict though at the end of it.
Well, and it wasn't even necessarily that there were more F words so much as there was more just general swearing.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a lot more shits.
Yeah, there was a lot more shits.
And giggles, really. Again, it was a good show. Like start to finish. I don't think there's a better thing on television right now.
I have a friend who had access to YouTube Red at the time. And that was how I started to watch it. And then I may or may not have utilized the internet to figure out creative ways to watch the second season. And now I proudly support it via Netflix, very legally and all above board.
All $7 a month that I spend.
No, I do the premium package because
you have kids that are old enough to use it.
Well, that and like I have an agreement worked out with my mom where one of us pays Netflix, one of us pays Hulu, and then we all share, and everything works out great for everybody. But
everyone's a winner.
I watched season 1 again, as you said, like 2 years ago when it came out, and then I just watched season 2 literally in the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm. We watched them all yesterday last night.
Nice.
We finished out 1 I think yesterday and then jumped right into season 2 and
it's roughly 5 hours a season. It's a good investment, but worth every minute.
Is it just me, or do the episodes seem to clip by faster than they actually are?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time you're like, oh, they're going to show the Cobra Kai image at the end because this is the point that it's going to cut. Like you can tell where they're going to leave things.
The music amps up.
Yeah.
And it's very soap opera-y, but the time flies by. Like the one that really stuck with me was in season 2 when they're doing and sorry, we are going to talk spoilers at least a little bit here, but I won't be specific.
I probably will. I don't give a fuck about your spoilers.
I was going to say spoiler.
Beware spoilers.
Spoiler alert. The guy next to me gives 0 fucks about spoilers. So
I enjoy things more when I'm spoiled.
You know, it's scientifically shown that people do.
Really?
Yeah, when they know what's coming, it's why people rewatch programs.
It's very rare that I'm average.
That's why I like to go back and rewatch
Justified,
because you're not going to remember every little thing, and so it's always nice. And
you pick up on.
Then you're just like, oh, that's a nice surprise, or.
But you're not so wrapped up in everything that you like miss things because you're on the edge of your seat, like, oh fuck, and you miss a couple little subtle things. Yeah.
Or there's a scene coming up, and you're like, oh, I'm excited about this scene coming up.
I can understand the science behind it, but the episode where they're doing the demonstration at Valley Fest, episode is called Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to Daniel's going to do the ice breaking thing, and then Cobra Kai shows up and steals the party.
Steals the thunder.
And he punches through the flaming concrete. That episode, watching it, felt like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it just fucking clipped by.
Yeah. And Johnny is so much better than Daniel, and I totally buy his version of events.
I love it.
I totally buy
when
it.
he does the whole, and they do like flashback footage of shit.
Yeah.
But from his perspective, it's great.
You see it from that perspective. You can.
And we were talking about this. We were talking about this in the chat chat the other day. Because
our chat is like its own fucking show too.
Yeah, right.
But we were talking about how in this reality, like karate is the evolution of fighting. There is no MMA mentioned.
Yeah.
There's no other, like karate is it. And these two guys are the best karates ever.
If you are
the best
in the parlance that we were throwing around, if you're not a pussy and you're a badass, you know karate.
So have you watched the season 3 trailer?
No, I have not.
Or leaked footage or whatever the fuck?
No, I have not.
Okay, there's a picture of Sato, who is Miyagi's best friend from Karate Kid Part 2. Mm-hmm. There's a picture of him. It's like a poster in the background, but it says he trained the U.S. military. So I think he was the sensei that Terry Silver and John Kreese learned from. You're hearing it here first, folks. That's my idea. I think Sato is the
That would be interesting.
The genesis of Cobra Kai.
And that's why Kreese always hated Miyagi as much as he did, is maybe they had some kind of weird falling out between Sato, Miyagi, and Kreese.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But no. Sato taught them after Miyagi was gone.
No, I know, but I'm saying maybe there's some kind of mixed situation between the three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Chosen knows where to go, because I'm pretty sure the internet is tighten around that. Whoever stabs that sigh next to Daniel's face is Chosen from season 2 or part 2.
You know, they've done this really good job of like building this world around a 3 movie.
It's remarkable.
I think really is. And Johnny, he was only in the first one.
Yeah, he wasn't in Hilary Swank was in the third one.
No, the third one was when Daniel joined Cobra Kai.
She was the next Karate Kid.
She was the next Karate Kid.
Oh, that's right.
Did you know Will Smith's a producer?
That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I saw that like episode 2 or 3.
I did the one with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which should have been the Kung Fu Kid.
I've never seen.
Because Jackie Chan knows Kung Fu,
but
he doesn't know karate. If you ever get the chance, there's a video out there where Jackie Chan's on the Graham Norton show, and he's talking about this time that he met the Queen, and this other lady had just told her story of meeting the Queen, and he was like 19 in Hong Kong, and he met the Queen, and he's like, she's so right. Like you don't know, my whole mind went blank, and she stopped in front of me and just kept talking to me, and I couldn't think of a word to say to her. I just kept bowing. Jackie Chan. And I was hoping, because Graham Norton had done this, every time people meet you, they do this Jackie Chan at him, and he hates it. And I was hoping that when Jackie was telling the story, that eventually he would be like, and then the Queen just went Jackie Chan. But it didn't go that way.
Something that she would do.
Yeah.
No, so to get back to what you were saying about the strong writing for Hawk,
mm-hmm.
and the world building, the writing, whoever it is, I don't know if those guys, I can't remember their names off the top of my head now, but the 2 guys,
there's 3 of them, and they're all long names.
The 2 guys that pitched the show, they're the 2 main ones,
mm-hmm.
and then there's a 3rd guy with them that, if I remember correctly, does a lot of the writing for it.
He probably did the dialogue.
I'd have to Google it or something, but I don't remember. Those guys, every character in the show is like it's on par, in my opinion, with shows like Breaking Bad and early Game of Thrones, where every character is a character.
Right.
They have good points. They have bad points. They are right. They are wrong. They make mistakes. They make the right choices. They are as fucking fleshed out as a character could be. And they do that with even the secondary characters like Hawk and Dimitri. That kid,
mm-hmm.
they create him so effectively that you, even as a passive audience member who barely see him in the show, cringe the moment that he starts talking.
Because he always says the wrong thing.
Because but he also figures out that sometimes he says the wrong thing, and it, like I said, it is some of the best writing I've seen in a TV show in a long time.
And Johnny is the hero that America needs right now,
dude. Yeah, yes. Stop being a pussy.
I
am someone who believes in coddling to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see me with my kids and know that I feel that way.
You're just saying that because they're watching.
No, no, I'm a big fucking softie. In comparison to my brother here, who's sharing the couch with me, I am the softie of the pair.
Agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fucking dick.
And even I am like, no, dude, the world, I fucking,
no.
Every workplace should have somebody with Johnny Lawrence's, dude. Billy Zabka is a badass.
Yeah, he is.
And if you've never watched some of Billy Zabka's movies from like the early 90s and mid 90s that he made after like Python 2 and shit, check him out. He's just as good in those as he is in Cobra Kai. He's like this really talented, super believable actor delivering terrible dialogue in terrible movies.
Wow.
But when they give him something to work with, he's actually got some skill.
You know what I hope to see come from this is a career for, and maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe it's not what his goal is, but a career for him after
like
Kai.
a post Cobra Kai,
Yeah,
like
something post Cobra Kai, because I think he's talented
Zabka
enough.
resurgence.
He had those movies after Karate Kid, where it was like, oh well, hey, remember the kid from Karate Kid? Yeah, we got him in our B movie.
Now he
Like,
fucking
that
fights pythons.
But they had those
that
B
was
movies.
his career.
I'd rather him
basically.
be in like a
This is a
another
stepping stone
series
to a real thing.
Yeah.
Like something prestigious.
Oh yeah,
Very much so.
I think he's talented enough for it, and
I
and
agree.
I wonder if the exposure that they're getting again from Netflix, because it's like they got the double dip with
They really did.
this,
Yeah,
because Netflix just offers a wide a way. This was people were just finding it for the first time,
Lots
or
of people
discovering
didn't
it,
even know
didn't
it was
even
a
realize
thing.
it was
there's
around for 2
probably
years.
not being generous. There's probably 100 Netflix subscriptions for every one fucking YouTube Red subscription.
Yeah,
Like honestly,
That's being generous too.
Like, really?
Like who really subscribes to YouTube
Yeah.
Premium? There's so much
I
free.
didn't. I borrowed a
I
subscription.
know it. Yeah, it's same. I borrowed one. I know somebody that has one, but everybody that I know has Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a person I don't know that doesn't have, like,
And
it used to not be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But then as time has gone by,
Yeah.
it's like everybody has Netflix now.
Yeah.
but no,
And if you
The-
don't, your kid does.
the
And by extension, you do.
the
Your
writing,
kid does, so you do.
the writing and the characterization is great. I don't like this phrase, but the way that they're able to not entirely subvert your expectations, but you keep thinking that you know where the show is going, because it comes across as kind of, it's the only damning thing I could say about it, and I don't even really think that it's a damning thing to say, but it has that very family friendly what was the TGIF, the ABC TGIF, like the very
the Full House
there's a
lineup,
wholesomeness
like,
to it, where it's designed that the whole family can sit down and watch it together, and every once in a while it has that almost kind of heavy-handed TGIF after school specialness feeling to it when they really want to get a message home to you, especially when Danny's talking about inclusion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then they completely flip the script and are
To
just
Sheila
like,
Hawkward.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. And it's brilliant. The way that they're able to do both and have the best of both worlds is really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing I like about Johnny is it's believable that that's where his character
Ended up.
would land.
Exactly.
And you see a guy and you can almost, he's a relatable character too. He's not someone that's out of like reach from anyone in here. Like if like there's the potential for anybody's trajectory to go the way that his did.
Yeah.
And it's not like he totally failed. He's part of the working class. He's working, he's doing odd jobs, trying to like just make ends meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he peaked in high school.
He peaked in high school, and now he grew up way too late, and now he has a drinking problem and a job problem and a life problem. How many fucking people can you walk down the street and point out that have that every
tons.
day? Like, right?
Tons.
Like, it's a very relatable, again, good writing. It's a very human experience. It's all the characters have it, from the bullied kid Hawk.
And
They call me shit lip.
At first.
Sorry. If I went to school with a kid who had a hair lip, I can guarantee you I probably would have heard someone at some point call him shit lip.
And it probably would have been me.
I didn't really pick on people, so it wouldn't have been me, but
Oh no, I'm probably the one you would have heard saying it.
but you know, it's Danny ending up as a car salesman makes total sense.
Yeah, there's probably nowhere else he could have
Because what else was he gonna do? Yeah.
I posed a theory, and I'm probably wrong, but I was like, his dealership had to come from her family's money.
See, and
money he got from Miyagi.
Yeah, see, I think
there you go. That could be too.
I think it was both. I think that you're on point with it, but I also think, like, if you follow his trajectory through the movies, he was successful. He wasn't just, in the storyline of the movies when the third movie stops and he's, they carry over 20, 30 years later to Cobra Kai. It's not like he was going to end up in Johnny's position where it's like, oh, Danny used to be this really, really famed karate master, but he once he grew up and couldn't do karate anymore, he fell on hard times and turned into a drunk piece of shit.
Here's my thing.
That wasn't going to happen to him.
Here's my thing. Okay, he was a 2-time champion of the All Valley under 18 karate, and he was never once.
Which is the biggest fucking karate tournament in the world.
Never once was he under 18 when he won it. His birthday, that Miyagi gives him his fucking car in the first movie. I didn't notice this till last time I watched it.
Dude, it's been you're blowing my mind here because it's been a minute.
His birthday was 2 days before. His 18th birthday was 2 days before.
So he was a grown man beating on kids.
And Miyagi stole his belt. And they lied. They lied to get his girlfriend on the mat as Miyagi's translator.
Yeah.
Like their whole thing. Like, and that makes Johnny shit seem that much more legit. Like I get that this whole series is through the lens of Johnny. So there's lots of 80s references because that's when he peaked. There's lots of just stuff. And you watch it from his thing.
In a lot of ways, mentally.
And they really, like, cinematography wise, get that across. Like that was his peak. And maybe that was the peak of this whole world. Because you see little things and it's like, I mean, they've got dating apps and he tries one out and that's a fucking great episode.
That was great.
Especially when he kicks that dude's ass in the alley. But like, and they say that this next season is going to be like, this dark secret from Miyagi's past. Well, does it have something to do with him fucking lying his whole way through that shit? Because, and is Mike Barnes in part 3, is he under 18? Because he's way bigger than Daniel. And the kid that played Daniel was 22 at the time, playing a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of this. The only thing that I can say is I hope they've done a really good job of not doing it yet. I hope if they go that route, I hope that they don't undermine the previous movies. If you're going to bring up something dark from Mr. Miyagi's past, it can't be that dark.
Yeah, don't trash it. Don't be like, he got his Medal of Honor for killing 8,000 Germans in a concentration camp that he built because his wife died in one.
If it's dark, it's got to be a redeemable dark. So it's like something that's like, it was dark, but I had a good reason. Or I had a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a story once when I was working public affairs for the Army about the unit that Mr. Miyagi was in, because it was the something anniversary when I was working out there, and they were one of the most highly decorated units ever, and they were all Japanese dudes. There's a highway named after one of them in Hawaii.
Huh.
Like
interesting.
He was called Sparky or something. But like all of these people were fighting for the American side while their families were in internment camps. And they sent them all to Europe, I think, specifically. It's been a while since I wrote the article and most of my Army shit is completely out of my mind. But they were hugely decorated. There were more medals of honor, I think, in that particular unit than any other unit in World War II. Not definitely, but I'm pretty sure they were.
Huh.
And, there were some whose wives died in childbirth for lack of a doctor in one of our internment camps.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up. But that's real history.
The internment camps were the subject of that season 2 of The Terror on AMC.
No kidding.
Yeah. Great show if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, there's all
I've been meaning to.
Season 1. Season 2 is Season 1 is like spooky good shit. There's a cool actual like spiritual Wendigo monster and cool like Eskimo Inuit type mythology tied into it. The whole thing centers around this old, I want to say it's in probably like the 14 or 1500s ship trying to sail through an ice passage, and the ship that they're on is called the Terror, and like Jared Harris is in it, and Siri Hins is in it.
He's one of my favorite ever.
It is it's spooky and very well done, and
you want to see
substantially better than the second season.
I'll give you 3 examples of Jared Harris roles and why he's one of the best actors ever. Watch Benjamin Button, then watch his time on Mad Men, and then watch him play Dr. Moriarty.
I was going to say Moriarty
he's Fucking, there's not 3 more completely different people, and he plays each one of them convincingly.
Look at his dad.
Oh yeah, Richard.
His dad was super talented.
Best
too.
Marcus Aurelius on screen.
His dad was insanely talented.
Yeah. Oh, and when he was in Count of Monte Cristo.
Yup.
Yeah, it was way better than that Sandwiches.
That was a good movie.
It was.
But that was, dude, it was so sad to see Jim Caviezel get
blackballed.
I mean, basically, I don't know who he pissed off, aside from the fact that he decided to play Jesus.
He played Jesus. That's it.
But
you know, he was the MiG pilot in Top Gun.
Really?
You never get to see his face. I saw it once watching the credits roll. It says James Caviezel.
I did not know that.
Him and one other dude were the MiG pilots. I thought that was awesome.
He's supposedly his show that he did, and we watched a little bit of it. The Person of Interest.
Great show.
Wasn't bad.
No. Didn't
I
watch
watched I think I watched about the first couple seasons.
I don't even think I've watched that much of it, but I started watching it
What's up? We said your name and then Mara went nuts.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Neighbor drama.
Crazy Neighbors in Clarkston. Name a more iconic duo, folks.
I hate that fucking town. Hate that town.
No, he it was another one that and actually I want to piggyback off of this because I want to get your guys' opinion on something after the show. I want to show you something and see if you think it's as funny as I do. Are either of you familiar with an actor named Matt Berry?
Matt Berry?
Berry. He's a British comedian.
No.
He's done a lot of shit. He was on the IT Crowd a little bit, which is a show that's on Netflix if you've seen it. He was on one of my favorite television shows of all time, which is called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Matt Berry that is absolutely not him. No. Matt Berry, actor.
This guy.
Man, he looks so different. That is not what he looks like now.
Is that headshot that's black and white and the third row one down? Is that him?
That's Matt Berry. Okay.
He
So
looks kind of familiar.
Berry like the fruit.
Like the fruit berry. This guy, you got to hear this for one. He has the smoothest, sexiest, most amazing, perfect voice I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
And they exploit it in Dark Place, which is, it would take a minute to explain the whole show, but the premise of the show is that you're watching a rebroadcast of a program that was made in the early 80s by a guy named Garth Marenghi, who was a horror writer.
Okay.
And Garth Marenghi turned his series of books into a TV show that ran for a few episodes, but they were never allowed to see the light of day because they were too demented and scary. And now they're being released. So they have very dated effects and very 80s feel to them and stuff like that. And it's all very tongue-in-cheek and very funny. But what they do with Matt Berry, it's actually Matt Berry acting. And he actually delivers his lines, but they re-record his dialogue in ADR with his voice to make it sound like they hired somebody with a better voice to do his dialogue. So it's actually his dialogue coming out, but it doesn't entirely match up with his voice.
Oh, so it looks like it's okay.
So it's like an old Italian movie or something where the mouth doesn't match the word, but anyway, Matt Berry has this show on Netflix that was on the BBC and then was picked up by IFC that's called Toast of London. And he plays an actor named Stephen Toast, who is very, very desperately struggling for work. And every episode begins with him in a recording booth because his main process of work is doing voiceover. And every episode begins with him being heckled by this man who has the most fucking hilarious name. Clem Fandango is the producer's name. And so at some point in this little cold open of every episode, he says the words, "Yes, I hear you, Clem Fandango." But
yes, I hear you.
He has to read from these little different voice scripts. And like one of the episodes, they have him recording dialogue for the Royal Navy has decided that they're no longer going to have their captains issue commands. It's just going to be all button presses. And so they want Stephen Toast's voice to be the voice of the Royal Navy issuing the commands. So he's in the recording booth recording periscope up, down, periscope, fire the nuclear weapons. And they're like, could you not sound so happy when you say fire the nuclear weapons? And so he's like, fire the nuclear weapons. And they're like, no, we can't hear you. Like, speak up. You need to sound like aggressive but assertive.
Fire the nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and you actually sounded a lot like him right there. But anyway, so where was I starting with this?
Something about this 80s show was where you were going.
I lost my train of thought.
That'll happen.
I got distracted by
Matt Berry.
Matt Berry. Yeah.
Anyway, he's a funny guy.
We'll have to check him out.
I want to show you a part of the show that is what. Oh, that's what it was. Reddit had constantly suggested to me that I watch Person of Interest with Jim Caviezel.
Oh, okay.
And so I finally fucking broke down and was like, okay, I'll watch a couple episodes. Well, Reddit did the same thing for this show, and it was infinitely more enjoyable and memorable than Person of Interest if you're into really, really stupid, dry British humor.
Fuck, I thought he was going to end up on an episode of Person of Interest or something.
But he does end up on an episode of Community.
Really?
Yeah. In the very last season.
I watched the whole thing of that not too long ago. That was a really worthwhile watch too. And I'm glad that Rick showed me the D&D episode before they cut it out because he's in drow face. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's not blackface, folks.
Oh, wow.
Read a fucking D&D book.
Read a book, faggots. I mean, no, I'm canceled.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. I don't know. I think all those people need to just fucking take a pill. Well, and that goes back to Johnny. Like when all that shit he says when he's on the phone with somebody, and I mean, first before when the girl shows up, and he's like, "Oh, I don't take female students." He's like, "Okay, but you can't act like a girl." She's like, "What do girls act like?" And then she tackles him, and he's like, "Man, I think that's a Cobra Kai." But you know, like all of these people just need to take a fucking pill, calm down. Like, stop fucking whining about everything. Stop expecting the government. Okay, here's the thing. Fucking Mark Maron lately. I listened to his podcast, and he's a great interviewer. Maybe the best interviewer that we have, right? But the other, like, he's got these opens. He talks for about 10 minutes before he does his interview, and then he plays his guitar, which he's fucking awesome at. He's a better guitar player than he is an actor, and he's a pretty damn good actor. He's a great stand-up.
Oh, man. Like, his work in Glow.
Yeah.
Some of the best acting I've seen come from a comedian in years.
Oh, yeah. He's fantastic. But so he's got Trump derangement syndrome. He hates the president. I'm indifferent. I don't like him as a person, but I don't mind his policies. He seems to be not his Twitter self. Like when he's actually working. I wish the dude would quit tweeting. But he's like, oh, if Trump wins again, we're going to be under this fucking terrible authoritarian regime. And then he's like, I was just in New Mexico, like not fucking 2 sentences later. I was just in New Mexico, and they'll give you a ticket if you don't have a mask on. And I think that's great. I think the government should be pushing for more masks on more people. I'm like, do you understand what the fucking word authoritarian means? Like, how can you have so many great, like, comedic thoughts and put together such thoughtful questions, but not know what fucking authoritarian means? Like,
yeah, I think that biggest problem with a lot of, one, I would put Mark Maron. I would qualify Mark Maron as an influencer in his
realm.
His realm.
Yeah. I mean, definitely less so than guys like, Bill Burr or Joe Rogan. I mean, in terms of comedians that have a following, but he definitely is there.
Yeah. And he's been working a lot longer.
Well, I would say.
And it's odd that he's so not there.
Maron would have eclipsed Rogan or fucking Bill Burr 10 years ago, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because when he had
definitely
when What the Fuck was at the height of its game, he was like way ahead of him.
Yeah, agree.
And he was behind other podcasters, like other comedians that got into the business that he kind of like.
Yeah, because he's almost to 1,200 episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
and he does one a week, maybe 2 sometimes, but usually about 1 a week.
Yeah,
but just and his constant like, oh, I can't believe people won't put on fucking masks. You know what? Fuck you. Put your mask on and shut the fuck up. If that's what you want to do, put your mask on. I'm not putting one on. I'm just not. And you can go fuck yourself if you think I am. I've worn a mask for about 5 minutes of this whole nonsensical pandemic. And it was so I could get on a plane. And as soon as I got on the plane, I took it off and I threw it in the fucking trash. And then I got on the next plane and then I drove across the country.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. No one's dead because of me, because I haven't had this fake virus.
At least because of COVID, anyway.
We're not talking about wars here. But yeah, it's just nonsensical. The whole fucking thing. When the CDC retooled their numbers, there's less than 10,000 people died of this thing.
I think that the whole separating the art from the artist thing really needs to go both ways. I think that if artists want us to you can enjoy my music and not agree with my politics, well, then maybe you should stick to music and stay the fuck out of politics.
Because your opinion doesn't mean anything more than mine does. And mine doesn't mean shit.
So a friend of mine, I think it was Cody Erickson, actually shared a thing here the other day. Or no, it wasn't Cody Erickson. It was my friend Kyle. Kyle shared a thing that was a link to this back and forth that some black Republican lady, which I'm probably going to get canceled for saying that, but whatever.
Is that my girl Candace Owens?
Yeah, it was her, actually. Yeah, that's the name I recognize. Thank you. I hadn't heard of her before, but I actively stay out of political shit anymore because it's just a cesspool, in my opinion. But
it's idolatry is what it is.
She got into this big Twitter back and forth with fucking Cardi B, of all people.
I wouldn't even give that bitch the time of day.
Go watch the WAP video if you haven't, folks. It'll change your world. Holy cow. Oof. Not in a good way. But anyway.
With this wet ass pussy. Fucking filthy whore.
Side note, do you know what the radio edit of that song is?
What?
Come get this wet and gushy. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm really prude, but calling it a wet and gushy sounds more vulgar than calling it a wet ass pussy. I'm sorry. There's something about the word gushy that just really makes me want to.
You could just do a music video with a drenched kitten.
Do you want to? Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to? Okay. Just to slide in real quick, since we're on the Cardi B thing, she is the female Bill Cosby, and no one cares. No one cares. She has laughed on television during interviews about drugging and raping men.
Yeah.
No one cares.
And it's like, oh.
Nope. Fuck her and everyone who looks like her. If you've got those fake nails and those fake fucking hair and fake eyelashes and a big fake ass, fuck you. Fuck you for worshiping that piece of shit. She's a rapist.
But so what I was getting at here was you have a Twitter back and forth between Candace Owen, who, from the very admittedly fucking cursory glance of Google that I did, actually seems to maybe kind of know a thing or two about politics.
She does. She's got a pretty decent head on her shoulders.
Going back and forth with a woman who, no, I'm not disrespecting sex workers because sex workers got to work too. I'm not talking shit about strippers because God bless them. Everybody needs them. But you have a woman who's worked her entire adult life in politics trying to argue with a woman who spent the majority of her adult life chasing dollar bills around a silver pole, who only until a couple years ago was more than a fucking blip on the radar. Nobody gave a fuck who Cardi B was 5 years ago. Why?
What gets me is that she entertained it.
Why is this woman who is clearly fucking on her shit and knows about this stuff having a conversation with a lady who, to paraphrase one of my favorite TV shows, doesn't know shit about dick?
Yeah,
because that's where
fuck.
Yeah, that's where we've digressed to. That's what we've digressed as, like, what in terms of what we consume. Like, our show, for example, could be like a bigger, better show than it is, but we're competing with so much horse shit anymore that it's impossible to contend with it, because there's so many other shows. You got Impulsive with what's the fucking Logan Paul. He's got a fucking show.
I don't even know who that is.
Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is he one of those kids that chases dead bodies on YouTube?
Yeah, he is the dead body chaser.
I was gonna say he's the dead body chaser.
Yeah, I got nothing on that kid. I'm not chasing dead bodies for you folks.
Well, if
I won't do it for views. The three of you that are watching, I love every one of you.
Right.
Unless one of you is Cardi B.
If we sat here and just played Fortnite while we were talking to you, we'd probably get a lot more viewers just from people searching Fortnite.
Only if Fortnite was in the
but
taking up the whole screen.
Yeah, it's
we were two little blips in the corners shooting each other in the face. Yeah.
Spooge.
No, it's one thing I'm this is not me talking shit about YouTube necessarily so much as it is talking about what's prevalent on the internet in general. Yeah, Suicide Forest Kid, you're right, Jake. Fuck that guy and everybody that looks like him.
It's a shame he made it out.
But yeah, right. But how do I want to say this?
YouTube's a cesspool
without being.
No, it's. I think
wasteful
so I went through. I was watching. I watched a movie a couple years ago that is arguably the best found footage movie I've ever seen. It was made in 2007, but wasn't released until it came out on torrents in 2009 or 2010, which is when I first watched it. And it didn't come out on Blu-ray until like 2014 or 2015. But it's called the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
Poughkeepsie.
And if you've never seen it, I highly, highly recommend. If you like scary movies, for one, you'll love it because it's scary, not in the jump sense scare, but it's scary in the like, oh, this makes me feel like I need to take a shower when I watch it. Scary.
Yeah.
And it's all done in found footage, which is when it's done effectively, I think is a really, really great way to make a movie. When you stretch the disbelief, like movies like Paranormal Activity and some of the ones where you're like, why are they still filming? Everything in the Poughkeepsie Tapes is done like a documentary. And if it's not talking head footage of an actor who's pretending to be like, I work for the FBI and this is what I saw in the videos, blah, blah, blah. All of the found footage parts are films that the killer made.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no, well, why would he stop filming? Like there's one part, and it is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in any fucking movie ever, but he breaks into this girl's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going through her stuff and he's filming and da-da-da-da-da. And then he hears somebody go to open the door. So he runs upstairs and he hides in the bedroom. But before he hides in the closet, he sets the camera down on the nightstand and leaves it running and jumps into the closet. And the girl comes in. And then a couple minutes later, you hear that she's talking to somebody and her boyfriend comes in. And this whole thing is one long unbroken take. And the whole time you're just watching from the camera's perspective, staring straight at the closet door. And you can just faintly see the silhouette of the guy's face in the crack of the closet door. And you just know he's going to fucking get him at some point. And you're just waiting for it and waiting for it and waiting for it. And it's really effectively done. It's really genuinely disturbing. And it's really fucking freaky movie. And one of the YouTube channels that I follow just like this last week or something, what was his name? He's called like the Horror Geek or something like that. I'd link him if I could, because he's actually a talented guy. But he did a video talking about it. And so I watched it because I was familiar with the movie. And when I watched it immediately after, YouTube was like, oh, well, you watched this, so you would like these. And there was this list of other YouTube movie reviewers that have all done little videos about the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I loaded up like 2 or 3 of them and watched the first like 5 minutes of them just to see how they compared. It is remarkable how much shit there is.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are genuinely, as I said, the Netflix to YouTube Red subscriptions.
Right.
There's probably 100 horrible, don't even waste 30 seconds of your time videos compared to the one video that's like, oh, this guy's actually insightful and knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's unreal. There's
you watch some of those dudes who like know cinematography and stuff, like full fat videos, or God, there's a guy from India that does amazing stuff. And it's like, why doesn't this have 1 billion subscriptions, but this guy who fucking plays Minecraft
or
has 1 billion subscriptions,
opens toys or something,
or like
shit like that.
Yes.
I mean, I don't
watch me unbox this fucking Paw Patrol.
My son enjoys the Odd Ones Out. This dude draws these cartoons and like tells stories from when he was younger.
That's cool.
it's trash. It just sucks. Like, I don't like it. The cartoons are good.
Hi, Iron Boys.
But like the content is just shit. He's like, oh, this one time I had a
Fuck,
dog.
I didn't even know we were on Twitch.
Or I used to work at fucking Subway, and he won't say Subway. And so he's got like 4 videos about him working at Subway, and they all suck. Like, no one cares, dude. Like, I know people who worked at Subway.
My brother did.
Yeah. And it's like,
I did.
You worked at Subway.
Which
you
one?
worked at Pizza Slut too, didn't you?
Yeah, I managed the Clarkston store for 4 months, then came and managed the downtown store for 2 months, and then managed the Orchard store for 2 months, and then quit because I hated the manager. From 2005 to 2006.
That was well after.
Never mind. It was too late. It was too late. Oh, it's Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Did you know that he has a Twitch?
I did not know. All right. You have a Twitch. Okay.
Now he knows your Twitch, homie.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
Oh.
No, my stepbrother worked at Subway, and I heard some interesting things about some of their how do I say this delicately for our internet audience?
Well, it's probably as filthy as you can because it's the internet.
They really like to let their coworkers know that they were Christian. Apparently the people who had the franchise or something like that. I don't know, but
what year?
Oh, this was I was still in high school, so it was before 2003. It was probably like 2000, 2001.
And it was Subway, huh?
He worked at the Clarkston one.
Oh, it was the same owner that I worked for then.
Okay.
Because he owned it for years and years, but then he sold it. But he never did any kind of like.
He made some comment about him smoking in his car being a godless thing or something.
Well,
the
one manager that I worked for was very,
with anything.
very
what does that have to
exceptionally
do with smoking tobacco?
Yeah.
Christian. I don't remember
wacky or
to what extent, but yeah, they. I guess if I think about it, yeah, there was some sort of heavy-handed Christianity.
They weren't like zealots.
They weren't trying to like in any way convert me.
Convert you, yeah,
but I could, if I think back on it, yeah, there was definitely that there. I wrote a whole letter to the owner before I quit, telling because he had the manager that was over me was like he treasured her, thought she was the best thing. She was the worst. She's terrible. And I wrote the owner a letter just to tell him how much of a heinous bitch she was. And I put up with a lot. I don't, it takes a while for me to fucking tip. But before I quit, I had a meeting with her and I told her, okay, I'm going to record this meeting. And so I recorded the meeting and it definitely made her temper what she, the kinds of things that she had to say.
Yeah.
I don't miss working in retail or food service.
I don't miss working at all.
Yeah, there's that dream of someday retiring at like 50. I'd like to retire by 50. But I think I don't have my ducks in a row enough to get there.
If you folks start sharing the Patreon.
Yeah. There you go.
Not to be whore.
Then we can retire.
I don't know. I like to think that we're quality content, but you've got me on here, so it will.
I honestly feel like we're a fair show. We're a good show. We've got consistent, good content that comes out. It's just a matter of finding that audience that cares enough to support you and back you along the way. And there's just so much horse shit out there. You get buried within it. And so it's hard to break through that.
I mean, for every mindful discussion out there, there's 300 people
that are
farting on a snare drum or
something. Yeah.
Like, not to steal from Airheads, but just farting on a snare drum. Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting this out all the time?
the thing that I always go back to are reaction videos. Those are the things that I don't get, because while I understand that in the hour and a half that we've been doing this, we haven't really touched on anything that's really like gonna fucking change your life, folks. We're not
except Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai will change your life.
It is a great show, and you should definitely check it out. Hashtag Netflix. Hashtag Cobra Kai.
Hashtag Danny LaRusso's wife.
But
Mandy LaRusso.
But seriously, in the hour and a half that we've been doing this, while we haven't discussed anything that is truly revolutionarily groundbreaking, why would you want to sit down and watch a video of someone watching something that you yourself just watched?
Yeah, like I'm gonna go watch the trailer.
I don't even need to see. You're my brother. I've known you for fucking 35 years, and even I don't give a fuck what your face looks like when you watched the Snyder Cut trailer.
Yeah,
I was excited to talk to you about it, but I didn't give a fuck about seeing. Oh man, his eyes got wide at the same moment that mine did.
Yeah,
who fucking cares? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was at the point where I was wanting to like. Well, I still do it to some degree. Like I've been making those thumbnails for the videos that I'm posting to try to like get the clicks.
Or like the creepy Cobra Kai thing that you have.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got over the doll eyes, dude. That was wrong looking.
He's not over it.
There's doll eyes in that image.
There's doll eyes in that image.
You gotta stop that.
it's something.
Fucking saw a ghost in my house the other night.
If you really want to get a fucking internet plug, I don't know if you know who he is, but Ryan George does the videos for Screen Rant, the pitch meetings. A lot of his videos use that doll eye looking thing. And that was where the first time that I saw you do it, I was like, oh, those look like the Ryan George videos. I'll click on that. Like, seriously. And I'm not joking. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's what that looks like.
Hey.
So maybe I'll keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that. But no, what I wanted to do. It's really
fucking unsettling.
It is.
Jump scare videos at one point.
Yeah, you remember?
I brought that up to, I think, when the beard was here. He's like,
no.
Okay, elaborate. Jump scare videos.
Well,
fill me in.
You showed me one time when we were young. Like, internet was not old.
Yeah, I mean, they're stupid.
And it's one of those ones where they're like, oh, concentrate on this point right here.
And then it's like,
and then it makes a loud, horrible noise when there's just like really soft music playing. And
so
you stare at the
my
dragon.
idea was like,
in today's society,
we were going to do a jump scare video for this.
You got to step it up, man. You can't just show somebody a scary video. You've got to have like a hand show up on their shoulder while they're watching the video or something. Like, you got to really fucking get them now.
Yeah, you need a special effects artist and 2 green
Somebody
screens.
call Tom Savini.
Call him up. That's Sex Machine from fucking Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
I know that his main work is special effects, but I will always remember him as the dude with the dick gun. Never
mind all the Friday the 13th movies or anything else that he did that were so fucking important to our childhood. He had a dick gun, and that's what counts.
Well, the thing about that dick gun, though, is it's in Desperado, and you just see it, and then you finally get to see it move, and you're like, oh, yeah,
what a great movie.
I could never see myself using something like that.
Okay.
And then he kills a vampire with it.
Question
with a dick gun.
And we didn't set this up, but it is a good point to bring up. What other movies can you think of off the top of your head that change tone as fucking radically as that movie does and actually stick the landing? Because it goes from like crime
it's a getaway movie
to a full-blown sci-fi creature feature B movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I can think of one right now.
I don't think there is another one.
Like, it's crazy.
Come on, because we got two viewers left. You guys think of a movie that shifts gears from fifth to reverse immediately. Yeah. Like,
and you can't name the Fast and Furious franchise that started out as a race car movie where now they're just like,
now it's a superhero.
They're in outer space.
Because it didn't change mid-movie. It changed mid-franchise. There's a big difference between the two.
There was a point where they changed from fifth gear into reverse, though.
The whole movie hinges, like Salma Hayek's Hot Sexy Dance is this linchpin of the movie where it goes from, okay, these guys are on the run and they're in a creepy bar to holy fucking what? Okay. Like, it's a 3-minute scene that completely turns the movie on its head.
And you know that pyramid is legit?
Yeah.
There's 20,000 of them in Mexico.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a shitload of them in China. Why are there pyramids everywhere? Not to just completely shift our gears.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
They found some statues in the Caribbean a few weeks ago. Like, old as shit.
Really?
Yeah, they look Greek.
We need to explore this.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Dedicate an episode to that one.
What does that say?
That's my kid.
Go to bed.
Last week's episode was great. Who's Bruno?
Bruno
was he the guy that was on here?
Yeah, he's our long-term viewer.
I didn't get his name.
Bruno's
Sorry,
the
Bruno.
best. Bruno worked on The Quiet Place.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's impressive. Going back to people watching trash. Oh, for the great stuff you guys talk about. That was said so tongue firmly planted in cheek. Jake, I love you.
I have a segment I want to test drive.
If I'd ever worked on an actual fucking movie or film production, I would definitely talk about it. Ooh, Matthew, we'll talk about that when I'm not on the show, son. This is kind of adult content. And spoiler alert, you're 11.
So the segment that we had that I played with was, boy, I don't know if we can do it.
911 improv.
911 improv.
That sounds loaded.
Well,
not 9/11.
No. I know we're not going to improv crashing planes into buildings.
This is going to be the Shatner moment.
So one person plays
Rescue 911,
the caller, and one person plays the 911 operator. Because you know how 911 operators are usually like just a lot, not all of them, but a lot of them can be piles of shit.
I love you.
And impatient piles of shit at that. Like usually if someone calls in, they're like, help me.
Yes, where are you calling from?
Your mother's backyard.
I'm at my house.
Ma'am, I'm going to need you to speak up, please.
He's in the other room. He's in the other room.
Location of your emergency, please.
25 Avenue.
Do you need my assistance? Do you need?
I'm really sorry, but you lost me at the Avenue.
You should have just said Riverside or something, dude.
I'm sorry, but that was really genuinely funny. Avenue.
You can't do improv if you're not doing it with professionals.
You can't break.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we were actually doing a bit.
Fucking Jimmy Fallon over here.
Yeah. Sorry.
How
unprofessional of me.
So
you weren't.
That's something we could circle back to and maybe play with at some point.
Okay, that's way better than what I thought it was.
Okay.
Which was us calling 911.
Oh, fuck.
Robbing a situation.
No.
It's like, that'll fucking get us views more, but it'll also get us in trouble. Like,
I don't want to go to jail. When
I read that on the cards of what we were going to do, I deliberately didn't ask what it was going to be because I was afraid that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like, all right, man, we're going for the fences on this episode. We're going to get viewers or we're going to get fucking arrested.
We're going to crank call 911.
Don't do that, folks.
Yeah, is Mr. Wall there? Is Mrs. Wall there? Well, are there any walls there? Well, then how does the ceiling stay up?
Damn, that would have been bad.
Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. There was like a good healthy 15 to 20% of my brain that thought maybe that's what we were gonna do. It's like, all right, here we go.
That was exactly what you guys were doing until he did that 25.
Dude, I'm sorry. Got me. I don't know what it was about you mumbling, but it made me laugh.
Because it was a fucking left to the chin. Like
that was good.
It wasn't like you'd rehearsed it it was the cowbell sketch. It was like out of nowhere comes It was some coffee shit.
I was trying to be as like combative.
Yeah,
and
well, that was where
authoritative
you
as I
would come
could
back
be
and be like,
of,
"You're
like,
gonna need to say that again. I didn't understand what the fuck or what you said or what you know." You don't have to say
what avenue, ma'am?
what avenue. Say that one more time.
Say that without the marbles in your mouth, dear.
Yeah.
Take your intruder's dick out of your mouth.
I'm sorry. Are you being raped right now? What was that?
He's stabbing my
Oh,
mom.
Jesus. I just said take the dick out of your mouth and your son is still watching.
Oh, yeah. Hi,
Sorry,
Matthew.
buddy.
Hi, Matthew. Oops.
What's your improv topic, man?
Yeah,
What's your
Matthew,
improv
what's your improv topic here?
We'll even take those.
Oh, there you go. We could just do like the 911 doesn't have to be the it. Like we could just do improv topics.
What's your improv topic?
That's actually kind of funny, though, the 911 thing. I like that.
We can revisit that.
That's something that you could really have some fun with.
I want to share this joke that I made earlier. Have you heard about this wildfire in California started by a gender reveal party?
Yes.
My joke was that they revealed that the gender of the baby was going to be fire elemental. And I thought it was fucking hilarious. And I've made it twice today. And I needed to pass that on because parking lot wedding. You got to get more specific.
Yeah,
with that.
I don't know about that, buddy. You might have to be a little bit more specific than that. Expand. Enhance.
Just print the goddamn thing.
So I think the only problem that you'd have with it is fire elementals are maybe not as commonly known.
Oh, since that fucking airbender thing, I think people will get it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's
Plus
fair.
I got a lot of nerdy friends.
Did they have a lot of elementals in that show? Because I'm about to just offer myself up to the fucking slaughter and admit that I never actually did watch that show as much as I've heard it's great.
Me neither.
What show?
Really good. Avatar,
The Last Airbender.
Oh, I never watched it.
It's supposed to be amazing.
I did watch James Cameron's Avatar. I want my money back.
Yeah,
I want my time back.
The animes are all on Netflix now.
I would gladly lose the money to get. I can fucking.
Can I have those 2 hours?
My son is listening, and I almost said something really horrible about what I could have done with that 2.5 hours. Matthew, I think we might have to have a conversation about you watching the show, son.
But yeah, a wedding that happened on the moment the guy proposed in the parking lot. So he proposes, she says,
so she
sure,
says yes,
and they just
he's
pop
like, well,
it.
I'm glad you said yes, because here's the preacher, and we're going to get married right now.
Yeah, my whole thing is like you don't understand this because you're a 11 and a half year old boy, but girls plan these things their whole fucking lives.
Yeah.
And I just said fucking to my nephew. Sorry, dude. So girls plan these their whole lives. Like you don't think about it. You're not even thinking about your own wedding right now, and we're talking about weddings. But every girl has a whole day in her head, and you can't just spring a quick preacher in the parking lot wedding on her.
Okay.
Because that's gonna start a fight.
Matthew.
Yeah, it ends with her just like shooting him. If
Removing your wedding tackle.
Matthew, you need to very, very quickly respond with a yes or no if I can tell these guys the story about what you said the last time you were asked if you had a girlfriend. Quickly. Very quickly, because I'm dying.
A pair of twins meet each other for the first time but don't know they're related.
Chris won't. Yeah, I know. 5th grade girls talked about dream wedding. Okay, so yeah, okay.
But he hasn't said yes yet.
He was talking about what I said.
Yeah. But to preface this, just in case. So, Chris, you won't quite appreciate this just as much just because Alex is... He's right on that cusp of the age that Matthew is, where he might know a shitload about girls. He might not give a fuck about girls. It's not quite decided yet.
Mm-hmm.
Ward, you'll appreciate this because yours is a little bit older. Oh, hurry up and answer, Matthew, or I'm just going to fucking do this anyway.
You're not 18. I get to make all your choices for
You're
you,
mine
boy.
For 7 more years.
And then we're going to circle back to Jake Matthews.
Twins that meet each other for the first time but don't know they are related.
That could be all right.
Identical or
are you
fraternal?
Are you me? What
Where
happened?
was your dad in 1984? Are you a military brat? So anyway, this kid who is 11 asked Matthew if he had a girlfriend. And Matthew's responded, no, I don't have a girlfriend. And the kid was like, why? Well, I don't know, because I don't really want one. I had a girlfriend, and this made me laugh, because if this could be an 11-year-old saying it, this could be a 21-year-old saying it, this could be a 51-year-old saying it. I fucking loved it. He literally says, word for word, she broke up with me. I don't know. She said I didn't pay enough attention to her or something.
Or something.
Or something. Which,
like, I stopped listening before she got
right. Yeah, I don't know. She told me that I couldn't. I don't know. I stopped listening.
Nice.
Like, yeah, right. I was like,
yeah, just keep doing that.
Yeah, you're not
okay.
wrong.
Either one we pick. Okay, who wants to be the twin? You guys want to play identical twins?
We're already brothers.
Improv ain't my strong suit, but let me get a beer really quick.
Yes,
Here,
and
I got you.
Yes,
no,
and.
but that's advanced.
I'll play it, brother.
All right, you guys do it.
Okay.
Oh, that one's not going to be any good.
That's all right.
Don't fuck this one up this time around.
Yeah, don't corpse.
Well, I'm sorry, but 25-25 mana drive.
Mana.
It's fucking genuinely funny. That's an old school Space
That's a
Ghost.
Muppets.
Phenomena?
That's from the Muppets.
Oh no, that's Muppets. Yeah, that's right.
Phenomena is a whole lot older than that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah,
I mean, they,
before the Muppets.
They had
but,
that shit on.
but I'm thinking of like the. Yeah. All right. Oh, hey, what you doing here? I'm just outside the Super China Buffet having a meal. You look familiar, kind of like me.
Did you get the beef and broccoli?
I did not get the beef and broccoli. It makes my ass burn because of the seasoning that I had.
That's weird. My mom has the same problem, but I don't really have that problem. You look familiar too. Like, you work at Subway?
I did work at Subway once. I ended up quitting that job because the manager was a real bitch.
Like,
what kind of sandwich do you like?
Oh,
do you like olives?
No, I'm actually allergic to olives.
Me neither. Totally allergic.
Really? No shit.
Yeah.
Weird.
That was just a nervous laugh because I think we're twins.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess kind of we look related in that, like, hey, has anybody ever told you that you look like so-and-so kind of way? I don't know if I see it though. Hey, do we look related to you?
Oh yeah, and you've got very similar styles.
He's wearing plaid. I'm wearing khakis. What the fuck are you talking about?
You guys are the worst fucking improvers like ever. Okay, I told you right before you started, you have to do yes and, or else it fucking breaks down. Have you never watched Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes, I have.
Yes and. Well, yeah, we have the same pants and our shoe sizes look like they're the same. You got to keep it forward.
Next.
But
next.
You said no every single time. And if you say no, you have to say no, but. No, but
That's true.
do.
That's true.
like when he said the olives thing, he said, no, but I really like cucumbers on my sandwich. And you go, no shit. Every time I have a sandwich, I put cucumbers on it and I throw fucking vinegar there. And then you say, vinegar? You do the oil and vinegar? What about salt and pepper? I'm huge on salt and pepper. And you're like, yes, me too. And I have to drink Dr. Pepper with it.
There's something disgusting about two guys discovering their twin brothers over their fucking Subway sandwich ingredients.
Well, they're not even at fucking Subway. We're in a Chinese restaurant.
Super China Buffet.
Subway.
When he said, did you have the beef and broccoli? It was, yes, I had the beef and broccoli and the Mongolian fucking beef. And you said, goddamn Mongolians.
Oh shit. Oh, shit.
I had shitty beef and shitty chicken.
Oh.
This is why I sat out, because I'm better at improv.
Well, yeah. You don't want fucking Oh my god.
That was funny.
Oh, that was great. Thank you for that.
And this has been your improv class.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And if you say no, you have to say no, but no, I can't do that. I'm allergic, but I always put cucumbers on my sandwich. With the spinach, cucumbers and spinach is delicious with a little oil and vinegar on top. Just bang, bang, bang.
I feel like it's hilarious.
I can't stop.
The idea
He's
of two guys
improving with
discovering
himself now, folks.
the idea that two
Get a
guys
hold of this
discover
here. He's improving with himself.
they're twins.
Two people have the same dream and tell each other about it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right. One of you kick it off, and I will be half of this one. And we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Let's see if I can keep it up beyond Subway sandwich ingredients.
No, I'm allergic to olives.
So I had this.
Oh, not the green ones, just the black ones.
I feel like you guys did that wrong to set it up so I would go off.
Maybe.
That was on purpose. No, you just said yes,
Well, I'm not
but
gonna lie.
no.
I really didn't know. I was immediately thrown off by, like, if we're twins, his comment of "you look familiar."
I think I saw you in the mirror this morning.
Fuck, you see me every goddamn day. Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw you in the mirror this morning.
and it's not like we graduated together. It's like you see me every day.
And I'm pretty sure that you rubbed one out for me.
Oh man. Oh.
Jesus.
Two people have the same dream and tell each other about it.
And go.
So, dude, I had this totally awesome, well, not awesome dream, but it was like an okay dream. I was,
Oh, last night?
yeah.
Me too.
You had
I
a
had a
dream
great
last
dream
night?
last night. Tell me about it.
Sometimes I don't dream, but this time I did dream. I did have a dream, and it was, I dreamed that, I was in this, Subway restaurant.
Keep going back to that sandwich
Jesus
well.
fucking Christ.
Jesus.
No.
So you're in the Subway. What happened?
Well, I left immediately because I was like, I've had sandwiches for like 6 days in a row. So I head across the street to Pizza Hut.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Well, yeah. Because
Why?
I had the same fucking dream. I was tired of Subway, and I must have had the same dream like 6 nights in a row because I just felt like I'd had a bunch of sandwiches. And so I went over to the Pizza Hut, which I'm pretty sure you fucking worked out once too.
Yeah. Oh, you dream
And-
about what you know,
and-
man.
So I get into the Pizza Hut, and Candace Bergen is there.
I don't know anything about fucking Taylor Swift. But
Well, they say when you write about what you know.
oh,
So you
sorry,
dream about what
Matthew.
you know.
Love you. Oh my god.
Oh, okay. You realize you have a superpower.
Oh, like
And
time
come up with a
reversing
dumb power.
farts. Right? Is that where we're going with this one? Time
Oh.
reversing farts?
Oh, all right.
I can't think of a dumb power. I mean, you can go to Meg on.
The ability to speak with cats.
See, I think that'd be helpful in my neighborhood.
How?
If-
How would it actually improve your life?
I can tell them to quit
I'm
shitting in my
sorry.
driveway.
That doesn't mean they're going to respect your wishes just because they already understand what you're saying.
I don't know that they do.
When my dog stares at me with the fucking dull stare of the dairy cow, and I'm like, Cash, go to the kitchen. Cash, go to the kitchen. Cat, go to the kitchen. He knows what I'm saying. He's just staring at me, testing my patience. My ability to speak dog wouldn't make it any easier.
Getting the point across would. Plus, she'd be like,
Oh, man.
I can't think of a
But-
bad superpower.
No, that actually, thank you, Matthew, because that does piggyback onto a question that I did have. People always talk about what superpower would you want to have? What superpower would you not want to have?
Okay, there's an X-Man named Skin, and I wouldn't want his power.
What is Skin's power?
He just has like all this loose skin. And I think he's got some durability that's pretty great, but Like I wouldn't want to sacrifice. Let me look him up so you can see what he looks like.
Is it gastric bypass guy?
All I can say is I hope that camera was able, was able to like effectively capture my utter. I was about to take a drink before you just started talking about that dude's excess skin. That's not a superpower. That's
him.
Okay.
That's skin.
He looks like a weird version of, oh, Matthew, when you fart, you fly. Okay, son, there is a movie called, if my memory is correct, and Ward might have to Google it to back me up on this, it's called, I believe, Thunderpants.
I don't know that movie.
It stars the kid that played Ron Weasley. It is
exactly that.
It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a Thunderpants. It is a kid who, so Ron Weasley and his friend, and yeah, Stephen Fry's in it too, apparently. Ron Weasley and his friend figure out that his farts are so powerful that he can like fly from them.
Pause that.
Expansion chambers primed for impact.
Okay, so it says skin possesses approximately 6 feet of extra skin. He is capable of stretching, deforming, wrapping, expanding, and compressing this extra amount of epidermis. Totally fucking useless.
Okay,
that's the power I would not want to have.
His skin is not like extra strong or anything like that. Like it's just normal human skin that gets bigger.
Yeah,
because that's not. I don't.
Oh, he's learning.
That sounds like a horrible. I'm trying so hard to not talk about vaginas while my son is watching. God damn it.
Yeah. That's
but anyway,
I workshopped character. Remember the show Heroes came out?
Yeah.
Season 1 still holds up.
We were a buddy of mine and I were like workshopping this parody like comedy movie script that we were going to write. With instead of a monkey, like we had a whole slogan: "Save the monkey, save the world."
Okay.
I don't remember. I can't remember all of it, but I remember one of the characters' powers was the title that we were going with was Super Anonymous. Basically, it was like this, like a Alcoholics Anonymous for superheroes.
Yeah.
For people with superpowers, one guy's superpower was just having like an incredibly extra large scrotum. Like that's all it was.
You'll have to ride the back seat though, because his nuts are gonna have to ride shotgun.
Who's nuts?
Oh my god! I just picture Randy Marsh with the wheelbarrow. And...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Mission Control
never came to fruition, but it's probably a good thing because it was.
Yeah. You know,
it was an okay idea, but then The Boys came out, and then I was like,
no, actually, that was what I was going to reference.
I'm upset.
You were skewering the superhero genre before it was.
I'm upset that
ready
they're doing
for it,
Friday releases on that. I wish they would have just released it.
It's not ideal, but
what's the chance?
Thunderpants.
We're plumb out of ideas.
Hey, that's the.
That's
Ned Beatty.
Yeah.
Squeal like a pig.
We're in trouble.
I always look at him. He used to work for Lex Luthor.
All right then. The United States Space Center are on a constant search throughout the world to seek out children with gifts. That's why they came and found me. And that's why they found you too.
From the director of the...
That's Rupert Grint.
Yeah, it's Ron Weasley before he was Ron Weasley.
Wow. Is that what got him
the
job?
No, but this was... So you've seen the movies that like Jesse Eisenberg did several that were like after he got big with The Social Network. They were like, oh, by the way, they just slap his face on a shitty horror movie poster and blah, blah, blah. This was one of those.
Here's this handful of bullshit movies.
If you look, you'll see the main face on the poster is
Comes
Rupert
an
Grint's
adventure
face,
that
even
will
though he's not
blow
the lead
you
character.
away.
But the whole premise of the movie is this kid's farts are like supersonic.
Starring Rupert Grint
And
from
it's
Harry Potter.
fucking hysterical.
Starring Rupert Grint from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
To be a spaceman.
And introducing Bruce Cook as Patrick Smash.
His farts send him to space.
His last name is Smash?
Get ready to reach for the stars.
Crush blood!
Best
Smash
friends
it!
Take one giant leap.
I'm really disappointed.
That would have been a British movie, I'm guessing.
I'm really disappointed in the lack of farts in that trailer.
Yeah, they can't
Like seriously, like yeah.
piss,
That's
shit,
the
butt,
whole-
cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker,
it's
and
the
tits, fart, turd, and
whole-
twat.
It's the
Fart
whole
is on that
premise of the movie is that his farts are like supersonic and are needed to save the world, and that trailer made it look like they were just sending a kid.
What
to
are they in
space.
an Armageddon Fifth Element situation, and they need to get a rocket off the ground really fast, and so they need Thunderpants to sonic fart?
They, if I remember right, they have to like figure out a way to harness the power of his farts to power something. I don't remember what it is. There's a bad guy that's also trying to, do the same thing for his own nefarious needs. But,
Isn't there always?
Oh yeah, but
Nefarious indeed.
yeah, Rupert Grint before he was Ron Weasley, Thunderpants.
He's done some interesting stuff since.
Haven't they all?
But it's actually been some not bad stuff. There's one show that he did with I think he was in it with Don Johnson.
I
can't
Boy,
remember
that
the name
guy
of it.
hasn't aged. He
yeah,
looks the
I
same.
watched Knives Out yesterday, actually.
That
Speaking
movie
of
was
Don Johnson,
great.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't like the direction that he took the accent, though.
Yeah,
The
I'm
Southern.
a huge Daniel Craig fan, but the way he took that accent was not good.
it was.
Did you see Logan Lucky?
Yeah,
Logan
So
Lucky
good.
it
was
was hilarious.
Yeah,
It was
Amazing.
super funny.
yeah.
A film full of people who don't get the recognition they deserve.
It's funny how much I dislike Kylo Ren, but how much I like Adam Driver's work, other than Star Wars.
Kylo Ren is the best character in the new Star Wars trilogy, which admittedly is not saying much.
I don't agree. I think he's probably the
Who's
best
better?
acted
Who's
character.
better?
I guess
Because it's
they're-
not Rey.
I don't think anybody's that
And
good.
it's not Poe, and it's not Finn, and it's not Hux. So who is it?
I don't know. You Snoke? I don't know. Maybe he is, but I guess it's not
admittedly,
saying much.
It's a really fucking low bar to clear, but he's one of the only characters in the entire series that actually has a fucking arc.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. It's just so fucking
Bad?
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
None of it holds up after
Yeah,
the
it's
first
really bad.
Like the second movie or the second of the third trilogy is an absolute abortion.
But
It's just too long. Nothing happens.
yes,
It's a chase movie.
Jake. is
Daniel Craig
correct.
was a
Daniel
stormtrooper.
Craig was the stormtrooper that got the. He was the one that Rey played the mind trick on.
Yeah. She Obi-Wan'd him.
Yeah.
That's why people thought she was Obi-Wan. I knew she was a Palpatine from the first fucking lightsaber fight.
I would have liked.
Alex and I went to see it, and when Palpatine says that he's his granddaughter, he's like, Dad, you were right. I was like, yeah, there's nothing I like hearing more than one of
Dad,
my
you were
children
right.
telling me I was right.
The thing is with going off of what Matthew's saying there about liking Finn,
They didn't give him anything.
he from the first movie, and it's so fucking frustrating. They had all this thrust to do with Rey about where they could go with her character
Mhm.
and why she was the way that she was from the first movie. They had Finn, who was the idea of, we've watched Star Wars movies, us, for literally the entirety of our lives, because
Right.
they came out before we were fucking born. Stormtroopers were nobodies.
Mm-hmm.
And then the prequel movies came out, and it was like, okay, well, they were kind of like, eventually they became nobodies, but initially they were like clones and they were literally mindless, but then eventually those had to die. So then they indoctrinated people and whatnot. And so the natural progression of that was what they did with Finn, which was you're going to have indoctrinated people who don't go along with what you're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
always take.
they had this brilliant idea of what it would be like to have a stormtrooper turncoat, and they did fuck nothing with it.
Yeah.
Like at all. By the third movie, he might as well have not even been a stormtrooper.
Yeah, they sent him off to Canto Bight in the second one.
Seriously, it was meaningless.
And then they tried at the end to
anyway
shoulder in a little bit of
seriously. I'm sorry. I could sit here and I could talk for fucking hours about how much I hate the new Star Wars movies. Like seriously, if you haven't picked up on that, because they, like I said, it's not like Game of Thrones where you took a TV show that I watched for several years and you made me dislike it. You took one of my favorite things. I used to laugh at people who talked about George Lucas raped my childhood with the prequels, with the midichlorians and all the bullshit that the prequels involve. The first movie has nothing to do with Star Wars at all. It's literally a fucking space politics movie. Like, you can talk all you want about those. The sequel trilogy literally undid the goodwill of Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see that.
Fucking hate it. They didn't just ruin their 3 movies, they diminished the quality of the 6 movies that came before.
I could take or leave the prequel movies.
And the original trilogy isn't that great as an adult either.
Empire.
They are children's movies. Empire's good.
Star Wars New Hope is a solid adventure movie for the family.
Yeah.
Empire is right up there with Ghostbusters and Gremlins, and I would challenge someone to find something wrong.
They're fun to watch in succession all together.
Yes. Return of the Jedi,
it's a toy commercial,
suffers from being a toy commercial, while the only stuff that really has weight is Luke and Vader and the Emperor. Everything else, it was we don't really know what to do with these guys, but we need this payoff with Luke and Vader and the Emperor.
And we need to put out another Han Solo
we have to fucking have Han Solo in the movie. I wish they would have given Harrison Ford his wishes and let him fucking die in Empire. It would have really had some weight to it.
Yeah.
The prequels, episode 1 is dreadfully boring. Episode 2 should have been episode 1. Anakin should have never been a kid. We should have never had Qui-Gon Jinn. We should have had,
and that kid never should have had to go through what he went through.
We should have had the prequel series start with Anakin in training and Obi-Wan as the Qui-Gon figure. And Obi-Wan is this stoic, staunch, Obi-Wan-esque figure, and Anakin is trying to emulate him but struggling. And Padme is his love interest, who is tempting him to not go with what he knows he should go with. And blah, 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 but we can't make the woman the bad guy because that would not play well.
Because that doesn't emulate real life.
We can't make it seem like he's... Because again, go back to the second movie when they actually have a relationship and Anakin is not a child. Padme's only argument that they can't date is that she works in politics. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? But she still continues to pursue him. She still continues to go after him. Then you have the third movie, which the only good parts of it, I love you, Wayne. I know you're not watching. The lightsaber fights are cool, but I don't need my fucking movie to be a video game. If I want to play a video game, I'll play a video game. I don't need a 20-minute lightsaber fight in a movie. I'm sorry. And it doesn't do it for me. Fights with no stakes don't mean anything. They look pretty, but whoop-de-fucking do. And I'm sorry, but the end fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, it looks pretty.
Yeah. But
it goes on about 15 minutes too long. And it's just them blowing themselves with cool kung fu lightsaber moves. What do you fucking do?
Well, they never had that. They never had that in the original trilogy. They actually, it was like
they didn't fight like
it was like almost
Crouching
fencing.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It was more like fencing. Yeah. Exactly.
So I thought the fight with
I think
Darth
the franchise
in the first one was good.
In KOTOR 2.
That was the best. The Darth Maul fight
Star Wars anything
was decent, but get rid of the pod racing and all the other horse shit that built up the.
Like I said, combine 1 and 2. Combine the stories of episode. Ron, you are my father. Nice, Matthew. Combine the stories of episode 1 and episode 2. Combine the character of Obi-Wan from episode 1 and episode 2 with the character of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Get rid of half the 90% of the political intrigue.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. And
we know where it's going.
You do this monumental disservice to the character of Obi-Wan, who
I liked him in the second one. His whole, like, I'm investigating things. I think it was a good direction. Like, especially for the age that he was there. Like, he's probably almost 30. Right? Because he's like 18-ish.
Yeah.
So he's probably like 28. Or, maybe even mid-30s. And he's just had his Padawan like sent off on his first mission solo. And so he gets to go out and be himself because he's been carrying this kid for all these years that his master had asked him to train. He didn't want that. And so now he gets to go out and he's like, I got all this training and now I get to go out and do something myself.
But he did. And this is part of why I say they shouldn't have had episode 1. Initially, he was like, no, we need to listen to the council. We need to not train him and blah, blah, blah. But what happens at the end of the first movie? He goes along with Qui-Gon's idea.
Yeah, because he died in his arms.
Completely against Obi-Wan's actual character. Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan is not a character who would fucking disobey the Jedi Order. I'm sorry, but he wouldn't.
Right.
But he did.
You're really passionate about Star Wars.
Thank you.
The older I get, the less of a shit I give. Like, there's so many people who are so whiny about it online that I just stopped caring. Like, I don't fucking care that it hurt your childhood.
My thing is not that I'm whiny about it. It's that I call it the Suicide Squad litmus test. And it is... Suicide Squad was one of the first movies that I noticed it with, and Matthew, I'm going to throw you under the bus on this one, but Matthew really enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie, and I did not.
Because it's a fucking music video.
So, thank you.
It was like a montage.
It was not a movie. It was a montage.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I didn't.
A montage. It was the first montage, like team building montage. I fell asleep through. I fell asleep before the end of it because it was just so fucking long.
I believe it.
Who else do we need? We need this guy, and we needed this guy.
For some reason, we need a fucking boomerang guy.
The first like 15 minutes of the movie are literally just like a sequence of music videos introducing characters. It's weird, and I don't understand how a movie operates that way.
But like every scene is like its own.
You know who could have pulled it off? It was Gunn.
Imagine that.
I hope he does. I hope this next one works out.
So
I hope it brings DC out of their. I mean, they've been getting out of their funk.
Is Gunn doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this, didn't we?
Dude, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, they're done filming, I think.
It looks great.
The Suicide Squad. Not some fucking Birds of Prey, the emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn is back and Rick Flag is back, so it's kind of a sequel, but it's kind of
okay. I might watch because
I will watch it. I trust
because
James Gunn.
I don't know him.
I can't find anything wrong
his movies
with
put it that
Guardians. Any of the Guardians movies.
The first one especially.
So
the first one is
it's
good.
It's on point the whole way through.
It's what I call my Suicide Squad litmus test. And it's the problem that I have.
Michael Rooker in the second one, though, man. Sorry, I didn't mean.
No, you're 100% right. Michael Rooker in most things.
Mallrats.
Fucking Slither.
He elevated.
He was so good.
Walking Dead when he came back to Walking Dead too.
Yeah, he did, and he went out like a champ.
So I had this problem with Suicide Squad. I had this problem not with The Force Awakens, but I had it with The Last Jedi. And then when I watched Rise of Skywalker, it compounded it more. I've never thought that the prequels were really great movies per se, but they feel like Star Wars. They feel like Star Wars. They have some high points. They have some things going for them, even if they're, like I said, the lightsaber fights between Anakin and Obi-Wan in episode 3 are really cool. They're not what I really want out of a Star Wars movie, because to me, the best lightsaber fight in any Star Wars movie is the fight between Luke and Vader in the cave. And it happens for like no time because it has weight. Those laser swords shouldn't be a fucking ballet. It should be, boom, oh shit, I just cut you in half. Because that was how they were in the original trilogy.
No, I like the one in Phantom Menace. It's the best part of Phantom Menace by a long shot. I like Ray Park.
it's paced really, really well. It's a battle that gives you high points and you're catching your breath and then you breathe for a second.
So much.
There's a lot of suspense to it.
Yes.
And there's character revelation.
Yes.
You see,
they tell a story through the fight.
That's what they should have done with all of it. There is no story in Anakin.
No, there's not. It's just
Obi-Wan.
pretty visuals.
It's just over and
let's
over.
Let's make this look pretty and kung fu-y and The Matrix.
I don't need so much Mustafar.
Yes. But my thing is I
wonder what their music is like.
When I watch those movies, every time, and it first happened, like I said, it first happened with Suicide Squad, but every subsequent time that I watched the movie, I liked it less. And I found myself discovering it wasn't like a movie like where I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. I love that. Oh, what a cute little tie-in. It was a movie where I literally, the more that I watched it, I found more wrong with it.
Everything J.J. Abrams does that to me. Every time I see one of his movies, it degrades. It's like
not everything, but close. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that he's done, and there may be something I haven't seen that doesn't do that. But every movie of his that I've seen, the Star Trek movies, like as soon as something stops making sense, they just cut to a new thing, or somebody has to run somewhere.
Star Trek's not supposed to be action, man.
They
should not have given J.J. Abrams Star Trek because it's not supposed to be an action movie.
No.
It never was, and it never fucking will be.
Nope. Wrath of Khan was where Star Trek peaked. Oh no, 7 of 9 is where it peaked. She's fantastic.
Deep Space Nine is like arguably the best Star Trek content, in my opinion. It's that and TNG are kind of.
Oh yeah, DS9 was great.
I didn't watch DS9, but I did watch a lot of Next Generation.
That's worth your time. Like start to finish, it's probably the best series.
It's more even.
I have a soft spot for Voyager because I enjoyed Voyager. Like I like the idea of it, and so I forgive a lot more than I would, because they're lost somewhere where there is no Federation presence. Yeah. And there's too many times where it's like, well, things are bad, so they get saved by the Federation. Like this is like something breaks down. They have to, kit bash something together to make it work. And I dug that idea. So I enjoy Voyager. But dollars to donuts, DS9 is the best series. It's not my favorite, but it is the best.
It's the most consistent.
Speaking of, Star-related stuff. Did you guys ever watch the Stargate series?
Nope. I watched speaking of Kurt Russell.
A little tiny baby bit. My stepdad actually has the entirety of Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis on DVD.
So do we.
Do you? Okay.
We ended up, we bought every season, like by the season. And then eventually, as will happen when you have a 10-season series, the packaging changes. So our packaging on the DVDs changed throughout the process. So I ended up taking it into a pawn shop and got a good deal. Thanks, Jason Phipps. On the pawn price. And so I ended up getting basically what it cost to purchase a box set of the first, or the whole initial series.
No.
At PawnCon. So he paid me in pawn what I paid for the whole box set of the series. And we haven't opened it since we had it because it's been streamable. But it's one of those ones it doesn't hold up very well. There's some good episodes, but it's
what was the
I just don't care.
Decent.
What was that guy?
Like
who was
Richard Dean Anderson.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, he got so fat. Poor guy. I feel he was like in good shape during that show, and then he just like
yes, Matthew, you can.
He got heavy.
Did he?
Can I eat some Doritos? Richard Dean Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah. MacGyver?
Yeah. He got heavy.
Oh, man.
Well,
I don't need to see it.
I don't know that I'd say fat, but he was not in MacGyver shape anymore. That's for sure.
No, he's out of I don't judge. I think he's actually got some sort of like health condition that.
No excuse. No excuse. We know too much about nutrition. We know too much about exercise. We know too much about how to do. It's all effort at this point.
Richard Dean Anderson died?
No. Unless he died today.
No, it still is. Was that one of the suggested things? Wow, he really did not.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
he's really gained weight since Stargate. Then
Well, see, this was
God, that mullet.
the one I'm
is-
hovering over.
Yeah, that's
Is
what
2004. That was Stargate era.
That's what I remember from Stargate. The one that's over there all the way on the right.
where he's got that dad
yeah,
coat on.
I don't know about that's holy shit, man.
Yeah. No, he started to like puff up a little bit.
Wasn't
like
that
this
the beginning of
toward the
Jason
end of his run
Momoa's
on
career?
Stargate? Yeah, Atlantis was.
Yeah, it's Atlantis. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought so.
They're not bad. They're not
I
bad
never would
series,
have
but if
guessed
you
he
look
was
at
going to get as just huge. Because like you look at that Baywatch Hawaii, and he looks like a scrawny tall kid,
It's
and like he hit a second puberty or something, and
it's not a popular opinion.
see MacGyver as
yes,
a
on
heavy
the
guy.
Doritos, Matthew. Yes, on the Doritos. You are a go on the Doritos.
It lagged.
we are
Holy
go
cow.
on Doritos.
We are go on Cool Ranch Doritos.
I'm always a go on Cool Ranch Doritos.
I really think that like Jason Momoa might be the most accurate depiction of reverse like sexism and sexual exploitation in our current modern time.
Really?
I really firmly think he's talentless.
Oh.
I think he literally coasts on the fact that like 80% of the women on your Facebook feed are like goosh in their panties over him.
Oh, they all go whap on him. Yeah.
But it took
Bringing it back.
Listen, it took 15 years though before they found because he was Atlantis for 5 seasons on Atlantis.
It took him taking his clothes off for a big budget Hollywood production.
I think
spoiler alert, how many times have you heard that about a young woman in Hollywood where she showed her boobs and now she's a big star?
I think his Khal Drogo is fantastic. But other than that, I didn't like his Conan. I didn't see Aquaman. But I did see him in the other one, and he seemed like a cool guy, but I just don't care. Like,
it's been so long since I've watched him in Atlantis that I couldn't say if he was a good actor or a bad actor.
I don't think he's a good actor. I don't think
that's what he gets work for. Though.
In everything that I've ever seen him in, I don't think he's been a good actor. He has a good serious face.
Yeah, that's all he needed for Khal Drogo. And he was perfect for Khal Drogo.
He is a mountain of a man with an exotic look, and he looks mean even when he's trying to fuck you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like,
have you seen that?
I think it's a really, really, like I said, I think it's a really prime example of I don't know what to call it other than like reverse sexism. Is like he
holds a firearm well.
He and his big beastly muscles and his steely fucking gaze are objectified in the exact same way that the chick from, God damn it, what's her name? She was in True Detective.
Oh, Alexandra Daddario?
Yeah, the chick with the bright eyes and the big chest.
Yeah.
That's all she is.
Yeah.
She's not an actress. She's bright eyes and a big chest.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'd watch her in just about anything because you don't expect anything out of women.
And so would most people because she's bright eyes and a big chest, which is what they put her in movies for.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's okay, ladies. If that's all you have to offer it.
Yeah, he's got that show C. I have yet to watch C because I feel
the Apple Plus one.
That's the Apple Plus one.
Hard pass.
Have you watched it?
For one, I heard it was bad, and for two, I have no interest in Apple Plus.
I have no interest in paying for another fucking streaming service.
I have Apple Plus.
Really?
There's some good content on there.
I heard,
but
there
it's
was
hit
not
and
much.
miss. Mythic Quest is great. That's Ron McElhenney.
Is that the dudes from Always Sunny, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard about that.
That's a good show.
I didn't realize that was on Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a great Beastie Boys documentary on there.
I watched that, but it was not on there. It was on again, I found
through other means.
I found a way on the internet.
Did you fuck? Have some more of this.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Very much. And I am what I would consider like a casual Beastie Boys.
I was too. I am too.
Beastie Boys. I admire them.
I went down a rabbit hole after I saw that show.
They're
or the thing. But watching that was really revelatory because it was like a lot of stuff I didn't know.
They're a musical group that I respect the shit out of, but I'm not necessarily as big of a fan of as I respect them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, other than maybe No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn is a great song.
Fight for Your Right has its moments. Like it's one of those.
They don't identify with that anymore, though.
At the right time, that's a fantastic song. At the wrong time, it sucks balls. You just have to. It has to hit you in the exact right mood. Like just a little nostalgia.
The thing
just
about
a little bit of beer.
It's a parody. Like it's a satire.
Yeah,
it's not a parody. It's a satire. Excuse me, but it
started, if I remember right, the way they did it.
The song I'm
for that was
they did it as done as a satire. It was,
but it won. It won.
But it's what got
it
them
won
popular.
over that demographic.
Intergalactic.
That's a great song.
I like Intergalactic.
That album actually.
Intergalactic
that album fucking bangs. What is?
Find everything on the internet.
What is that goddamn song that I'm thinking of? Sabotage is a classic.
Yes.
But that's not the one that I'm thinking of. It is... Hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Ladies.
No, they were another band that. Oh, speaking of, I watched a video on YouTube the other day that made me think of you, Chris.
This could go any way.
So we talk about other YouTube channels while we're on here, and I think that it's one that I've mentioned to you, the Wrestling with Regret. He does retrospective videos about all sorts of shit. And one of the recent ones that he did was the stint of ICP in
WWE, or just
just in professional wrestling in general, from their time in ECW and WWE and yada yada yada. And man, talk about a trip down memory lane.
No kidding.
It was so funny watching them come out with the oddities. I was like, oh my God, remember the oddities?
Remember the oddities?
That was a thing that happened.
Kurgan ended up in fucking...
Did you know that Kurgan was like pre-oddities poised for like one of the biggest pushes they were going to give someone at the time?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be goddamned. That dude ended up in that Sherlock Holmes movie.
The one with Robert Downey Jr.? Yeah, he did. You're right.
Yeah, he's the big bad guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Not the big bad, but he was the big bad guy.
Yeah, no.
The big bad guy. Yeah. I got to put the emphasis on the right syllable. But
I love that.
I don't care how much anybody hates them. I have a soft spot for juggalos because they're so fucking nice to each other.
I admire their passion.
The ability to speak juggalo that I got from you, like, got me so much shit in the army. Like, we had a supply guy dumber than a bowl full of dicks, but he was a juggalo, and I could speak juggalo, and so I got so much free shit.
Okay, I need education.
So I had a customer, and she's probably never going to see this, but she had a chest
probably
tattoo.
She will never.
She had a chest tattoo right down here. And if you're familiar with ICP at all, you'll know what the Hatchet Man symbol is. But she had the Hatchet Man symbol tattooed on her fucking chest. Like, anytime that you're wearing a tank top or anything, people are going to see this shit. It's
people
hardcore.
Know.
And then below that,
fucking down with the clown.
Like in a half moon thing, it said Juggalette. And I figured out people at work would complain about how cheap she was because she's kind of ghetto, but whatever. But she wouldn't tip. But I figured out that if I acknowledged the ICP and I just kind of, as you said, like leaned into that,
spoke a little juggalo.
If I would say whoop whoop, I got $1 instead of a no tip. Like, I'm not fucking lying.
No,
they have this. It's okay. So as you know, I was the marketing director at the Harley shop here in town for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They are the most inclusive group of people I've ever met in my life. Like I'm not saying they're a gang, YouTube, but
however,
they welcome you in like one.
Yeah.
And when you are fucking in, you are fucking in.
Yeah.
And
if someone knows that you're down with the clown, you can toss a fucking lyric or two out.
Yes.
Life changing.
If someone asks you what is a juggalo and you can answer anything,
any of the proper callbacks,
any of the appropriate responses of
I don't know. Well, that's what it is, but fuck if I know.
What is it?
A Hulkamaniac.
Power bombs motherfuckers in the thumbtacks. If you can answer any kind of thing with that, you are in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how fucking, because I'm sorry, I am a lame, skinny, fucking white bread motherfucker. I do not look like somebody who is down with the clown, so to speak.
You are exactly who is down with the clown. Most juggalos I've met are lame, skinny white dudes. And that's how they found.
I'm a skinny white dude, but I didn't think I was that lame. But
I thought you said lame.
No.
What? That was the first word you used.
No, I said
Did you say pale? What was the first word?
I just said I'm a skinny white dude.
I heard a first one.
Did I say lame?
I think so. You said something. Anyway, but yeah, that's the standard, because it's like some dude who's stuck in the Midwest and just he knows what Fago is, and they speak to the fact that he wants to be something more. That's all this kid was.
Yeah.
And he was just nice as can be, but extra nice to me because I could speak Juggalo. Bow tie.
Thank you, Jake. Yes, drink Fago.
Mother fricker.
Matthew, watch your language.
I said fricker.
Bow tie.
But we all know what he's saying. Dude, did you know you know this, Chris, because we used to do it together, but you used to be able to get Fago at the grocery outlet.
Yeah,
I don't know if you still can.
The dollar store too.
Yeah.
You remember you could go in there and you get 2 bottles for $1.
Mm-hmm. 2 liters.
My only problem with Fago is it's too lightly carbonated. I like my soda to have a little burn to it, and Fago didn't have that.
No.
Their orange was great though.
It's better than Shasta though.
Yep.
I don't even know what Fago is.
It's like Shasta.
It's a brand of soda. It's
a
a ghetto brand of soda.
Cheap ass brand of soda. Like it's not Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
You don't like Shasta?
No.
Not compared to Coke and Pepsi.
Not compared to Fago.
No, and not compared to Fago.
Although admittedly there was probably like a subconscious.
Does Fago have a Dr. Pepper knockoff?
I'm sure
probably.
They do. I don't know. You'd have to
because Shasta's Diet Dr. Pepper is pretty on point.
Is it really?
You'd have to Google what the name is, but I don't even remember what the name of Fago's fake Mountain Dew was at this exact moment. But
no, not off the top of my
dome. It was
good.
I know that. And I drank a lot of it when I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. When
I've never drank it. Just know they love it.
Jake, you're missing out. It's good.
It is. It's a good knockoff soda. If you're not going for one of the big two, or one of them that's under the umbrella of the big two, I guess I should say.
To throw it to the real ghetto folks that are listening.
Is they the right pronoun for Juggalo?
I think so.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I don't know. I think it's just Juggalo and Juggalette, but I don't think there's a particular pronoun.
To throw it to the real ghetto folks who are listening, of the two of you that are watching, Jake and Matthew, because I know you're the only two watching. You're the only two
My son popped on earlier to tell us to go to bed.
What is a Juggalo?
Fago is better than Shasta, worse than Coke or Pepsi. Think of it as like...
It's better than the Albertsons brand.
That's what I was trying to weigh. I was like, is it better? That's literally what I was weighing.
I think,
is it better than the Albertsons brand?
I think all of them depend on.
I think it's on par with
on what you're getting. Because like, I don't like Albertsons cream soda. I would much rather have A&W. I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
So before we get out of here,
yes,
pre-leaving,
Keanu Reeves.
Oh, this replicant thing you were talking
Have
about?
you seen the movie Replicas yet?
No, I'm familiar. I've heard of it, but I haven't actually watched it yet.
So I watched it the other day.
He made this movie like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it just came up
It
on,
sat on shelves for a little
HBO.
while before. Yeah, they couldn't find a distributor for it.
It's because it's weird. It's so spoiler alert. Keanu Reeves works in this facility. And we all know Chris doesn't care about spoilers, so it's okay.
He doesn't.
Keanu Reeves works in this facility, and
did they kill his dog? John Wick spoiler.
He works with none other than Thomas Middleditch of HBO fame from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
He's in it, and he works in this place that is trying to upload a person's consciousness onto a android, onto a
It's what my son wants to do with his life.
Yeah.
Like
to develop that fucking
Transcendence.
Yeah, Transcendence was awesome.
Yeah, what is it called?
It kind of fell apart at the end, but it was a good premise.
I would like to do that if it became available before I
I
shook loose this mortal coil. But
I'm on the fence about that, man. I don't know. A little peace and quiet doesn't sound that bad.
Well, there's those days too, where I just want like, can you unplug me for a few days?
I have whole days where I want life to be over.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I also want to live forever. So
what is that called? The other than transcendence, what's the term for that?
Immortality?
No, well, yeah, but no. The technological term.
Oh, the singularity.
Singularity, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I whenever I like go to talk about this, I can't pull the word singularity out my fucking ass.
That's all right.
But yeah, that's always been.
We missed its predicted date too.
Did we?
By a long shot. 8 years. Already.
We missed the flying.
We're 8 years
too.
behind. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, so the whole idea is like the brain doesn't die after the body dies, as long as it hasn't something hasn't shot him in the head or something like that. So but the problem that they're having is the consciousness can't reconcile with the fact that it's a robot, so then it starts to like tear itself apart.
Okay.
Right.
Which sounds fun.
That sucks.
Sounds.
So that's their sticking point.
That's the
like
problem.
as the technology.
Yeah, that's the sticking point for the technology. Okay. So then,
so don't give it hands.
So Reeves has the no shit.
Sorry.
So Reeves has this.
Don't give it hands.
This asshole boss that's like, you need to get this figured out because our shareholders want you to get this figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes on vacation. Then he's going on vacation with his family, primarily so that he can wreck in a car accident. His wife can get a stab punctured through her chest, die, and then her kids drown, and then his 3 kids drown in the back seat. So then it's got footage of him packing the last of 4 dead bodies from the water.
Fucking family, Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
his whole family dies.
Wow.
That sounds.
Then it occurs to him that his buddy Middleditch has. He can also clone. This is something that isn't revealed at the beginning of the fucking movie, but they can also clone, and they can clone a human being within like 17 days.
Dude, I want to see this movie.
Which
one of your multitude of streaming services is this on?
This is on HBO.
Oh damn it! I'll have to download it. This sounds great.
You need to watch it.
I want to see this.
It's
sounds
like
awesome.
And they can't figure out whether they want to be like they want it to be a comedy, or this like tragic.
Okay, nothing you've said has made me think that this could possibly be a comedy. These robots are tearing
there's this
themselves
back and
apart.
forth between Middleditch and he's like, "You want me to clone a human?" It's kind of like, I mean, this really like bizarre dialogue written between like Middleditch and Keanu Reeves. It's like almost like a Weekend at Bernie's type.
Wow.
Interesting.
Deal. So Middleditch is like, "Yeah, I can clone. What about it?" And he's like, "It's like,
what about it?"
And so he's like, "Well, we're gonna clone my dead family." Is the movie bad?
Yeah,
you can watch it. It's
terrible.
Watchable. It's not a good movie, but it's entertaining. I can't say I'm disappointed I watched.
I'm
happy that I watched it.
I think I'll read a synopsis and call it good.
I'm giving you the synopsis right now. You can call it good with what.
Okay.
So then, what are you doing?
Well, your premise reminded me of a movie that I saw that is just like what? That's the fucking premise of your movie kind of thing? Yeah. So yeah.
Okay,
so continue.
So anyway, he's like, yeah, sure, we can clone your family. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, by the by, you have 3 kids and a wife. I've only got 3 pods. Pods are expensive, bro. I can get another pod in this amount of time, but that's too late. So
wives are replaceable.
You're gonna have to choose.
That's where my brain goes.
Which one of your 4 family members you're not going to clone, and then insert because what he did was he had his car loaded with the fucking bullshit that he could extract their consciousness from the brain.
Okay.
Which is like a little eye needle that pokes into their head and sucks it out. And so he does this and he sucks out their essence, right? So then he's got the 3 pods.
Their mojo.
Yeah. And his buddy brings the pods. Middleditch brings the pods over to Keanu's house. And they put him in the basement. And he's like, so then he's raising these embryo
Does he try
clones.
to put 2 in 1?
No.
They come out like Siamese twins.
There's a whole scene where he's crying about leaving his youngest daughter behind.
He picked his wife?
He left the youngest.
Fuck you, Keanu Reeves character.
No, wait. He put all their names on a thing. This was the other thing.
Did he randomize it?
He drew them out of a
hat.
And
you do not do that.
He tried to make
Keanu Reeves character. You fucking dick.
Okay. He tried to make Reeves, or he tried to make. You see where I'm going? Where you see what you get it now? He's like, you got to pick one. He's like, and Middleditch is like, no, man, that's on you. You pick the name. I'm not doing that. So he picks it, and he picks his daughter, who we've already seen throughout the course of the beginning part of the movie. She's drawing pictures and leaving them around as reminders that she exists.
Oh man. This sounds wonderful.
And she's drawing on the table and shit. So, I mean, you can see there's this blueprint of a real heartfelt movie that was poorly executed.
Yeah. This seems like it failed in the direction. Maybe you should have done a couple more fucking...
This sounds like a director who didn't know what the screenwrter wanted to do with their movie is what it sounds like.
And
the director, his vision was fueled mostly by wanting to buy a pound of cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah. So he gets... Anyway, so he brings the 3 of them back, right?
Unacceptable.
And then it turns out that his boss is actually in the weapons business, and the whole idea is to bring these people back, bring back the best pilots, bring back the best blah blah blah, to pilot unmanned machines and stuff to take out people. And so that was the whole premise. And so he was basically baiting Keanu Reeves. He knew all along that Keanu Reeves had cloned his family. And was like, yeah, those got to go. But in the meantime, this is what we're all about. And so you got to give me the algorithm. That was what they called it. It was you got to give me the algorithm. And he's like, I got the algorithm in my head, so you can't kill me. And so
this sounds great.
And so then he gives them the algorithm. And the whole thing, basically, ultimately, it ends up being it circles back, and he survives with his family, creates another version of himself, finally figures out the fucking workaround to get his consciousness get a consciousness to work on a machine with himself. So he's got robot Keanu Reeves that's helping fight the battle with real Keanu Reeves who's still alive. So they're both and then robot Keanu Reeves is like, take your family, go live your life with your family. And then somewhere along the line ends up cloning the other kid.
There's
Toward the-
no
at the end of
version
the
of me
movie.
that would do that for another version of me.
Oof.
Right.
I
Even
would
if he's a
find
robot
myself
version, yeah.
insufferable. Like if I put myself into a robot body while I was still alive and my real me was still here, my robot me would tear me apart.
Yeah.
He'd be
Okay.
like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm the only. I'm the real Hudds now."
It's like the what's that movie with or what's that series with Paul Rudd on Netflix? Did you watch that one?
Oh yeah, that was good. I love Paul Rudd though.
Beside Myself or
Whatever,
something with yourself.
What was it called?
it doesn't
Anyway.
matter.
But anyway,
it's like
so-
6 episodes of greatness. It was fantastic.
It was good.
So anyway, if you go to YouTube and you search for a little movie that came out in 1987 called Rotor,
I think I've seen that.
this is what it reminded me of when you were talking about
Rotor?
Rotor, ROTOR, stands for Robotic Officer of the Tactical Operations Reserve Unit. It's a robot police officer. It's basically like a wannabe RoboCop, right? But what this reminded me of,
But you
when
can't top Peter Weller.
No, you can't. And this movie is fucking fantastic, but it does not touch RoboCop. Like
It still gets a 35%, which is high.
RoboCop
on the tomato meter.
is again with, in my opinion, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Back to the Future, like perfect movies. I would challenge someone to find something wrong with them.
I don't know. In Back to the Future, he almost fucks his mom. And that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, it's but anyway, so what it reminded me of was your comment at the very beginning of the premise of the movie about how they have this imperfect technology and then his family dies, so they have to just kind of wing it. Well, the premise of Rotor is that the main character, whose character name, I shit you not, is Dr. Barrett Cold Iron.
That's awesome.
Badass fucking name I've ever heard. But anyway, Dr. Barrett Cold Iron is both a doctor and a police officer. And he is not only a cop, but he is like part of spearheading the scientific creation of this robotic police officer. So he is a fucking wunderkind, basically. And he and his group are supposed to create the Rotor machine through government grants, and it's going to revolutionize the police force and whatnot. And the movie opens with them having a conference call with the bigwigs in Washington about their progress on Rotor. And you get this really, really cute, like, it's just a fucking puppet on a string in front of a green screen that looks like a RoboCop body, and they move it around and it does fun things. But they talk about how they're like 20 to 25 years away from perfecting this science. And then a couple things happen in the movie. And then Dr. Cold Iron gets a phone call from the same people in his office where the Washington bigwigs are explaining to him. Now, keep in mind, they're 20 to 25 years away from perfecting this technology. And he gets a phone call from the bigwigs in Washington who are like, hey, we have this guy that's part of our committee who's trying to launch himself into the White House, and he wants to be eligible for this year's run. So you now have 60 days to complete the process. So they bump it from 20 years to 2 months. And everything goes awry from
Thanks,
there.
80s.
But it's fucking great. So the cop has no understanding of what the law is. He tries to pull this couple over who are allegedly speeding, and he just shoots the driver for speeding, basically. Yeah. And when the girl tries to run away, then he starts chasing her to kill her. And he's like, he's
got a sidearm full of friends that can run faster than shit.
There's a whole scene in Replicas where Middleditch is like, and you got your generator, and Keanu Reeves is like, what do I need a generator for? And he's like, well, you can't lose power on these pods.
So you know that they're going to lose power.
And so then he's like, oh, well, where am I supposed to go to get a generator? And then he's like,
fucking Costco.
And he grabs his keys. And then he's like, as he's getting ready to leave, it's the middle of the night. And he's like the Ted Theodore Logan of fucking scientists.
Yeah,
as he's getting ready to leave, he's like, anything else? Like a real kind of like dickhead. Like,
what else do I fucking need?
What else do I need? Guy that brought over the cloning pods.
Johnny Utah's got to get his shit
and help me hide the bodies of my dead family.
Oh man!
So he heads off and he goes through the neighborhood and steals all the neighborhood people's batteries from their cars.
Oh,
to build a generator from car batteries.
You can do that, folks.
What?
Yeah. So go steal your.
What?
Don't.
I don't know how they figured out the science
just
of it.
Fucking broke my brain. I'm sorry. I want to see this movie so bad.
What kind of backwards Iron Man bullshit is this?
Just so you know, Ward, this sounds like a movie that is so up my alley. I don't have the adjectives. I love this kind of shit.
It's so up your alley. It could tell you if you had polyps.
The less sense that a movie makes, and the more that I'm like, what? The more I love it.
Then they give a whole scene to the cops showing up and being like, hey, all the neighbors said their batteries were stolen. Keanu Reeves was like, not mine. He's like, well, you were the lucky one. We'll see you later, I guess.
Yeah, I parked my car in the garage.
I want to see this movie. I want to see this movie.
Like, why?
This sounds great.
Yeah.
Why did that even need to be there?
I parked my car in the garage. I guess I was okay.
This sounds great.
There's no conflict after that. The cops aren't like, well, I got to investigate this further. He's just like, see you later. This scene's over.
Rotor?
No.
No.
Sorry.
No, I was 6 years old when it came out, and I couldn't watch it then. But I think I did.
But I think Ward's about to show the preview for it.
Yeah, I want to watch the trailer. I've never seen it.
It's, man.
I can be able to tell you after this if I.
Now on Blu-ray.
Yep.
Scream Factory comes out with some shit.
25 years in the future, the ultimate weapon against crime will be the judge,
that's a cute little thing.
jury, and executioner. And it will not be human.
As much as I like retrofuturism, like the 50s version, I think the 80s version of the future is my favorite.
25 years too soon.
Fucking Blade Runner, Shadowrun,
Impossible.
Rotor.
Robotic.
It's okay.
Yeah, because somewhere along the line they thought we'd always still have computer screens.
Yep.
Tactical. Operation. Research.
Oh, that reminds me.
Rotor.
Rotor's custom-made motorcycle that is built for him, even though they're 20 to 25 years away from him being ready, for some reason the motorcycle is completely ready for him.
Was that Jake the Snake Roberts?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
The perfect police officer.
He's going to make more noise than two skeletons having sex in a tin coffin.
Nice.
Yeah.
A prototype of what is to
And
come.
what is it?
But
If Rotor sees a perp, he would fight his way through a bus full of nuns to get to it.
Programming himself.
Like, yeah, dude, there are some really great one-liners in this movie.
Without flesh and blood. Rotor.
Yeah.
Dude, we could do that.
Yeah, man.
We could do that whole fucking thing.
I forgot about that, though.
And it's on a double feature with Millennium?
Gonna make more noise than two skeletons having sex inside a tin coffin. Who the fuck writes that kind of shit? And kudos to them for writing it.
Good for you, 1987.
Judge, jury, and
What was I?
execution.
Can I watch Rotor?
Was I?
Dude, it's great.
I have to watch it.
It's absolutely worth your time. It's
You know,
your boy wants to watch it.
I know he does.
You know, if I tell Alex that he has to wait a few years to watch something, he just doesn't argue. It's awesome.
Yeah,
He's like,
my boys are the
Matthew,
same way.
do you hear that?
They're like, okay, I guess.
I'll say, let me watch something first. I'll watch it this weekend, and if it's okay, we'll watch it when you're with me, and then I'll just be like, no, we can't watch that.
I did watch
that.
I did
One's
let
not
my
a you
12-year-old watch all of Breaking Bad.
The way that I try,
and he loves it.
The way that I try to explain it to him is, dude, there is so much content out there that you can watch. Why get caught up in the things that you can't? It's not like they're going anywhere. It's not like there's some expiration date on them. They'll still be there when you're actually old enough.
I don't know. Go watch He-Man again, and there's an expiration date on stuff.
Well, yeah, that's
my 12-year-old's ability to like understand what's going on with Breaking Bad though has been really phenomenal. Like he's got like recall that I don't have. Like he's bringing up stuff from the show, and I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
I let him watch Stranger Things, and it worked out.
Matthew
but it was something that, you know, he had something in common with him. Like Breaking Bad, there's nothing there for kids. Like, I don't care if you're 12 or whatever, like there's just nothing there for you. It's not, and so he can hold off until he's 18 and make his own decisions. But like, there's a lot of things out there where it's like, oh, you know, you can watch how these kids who aren't like super popular have to deal with things like Cobra Kai. We went through the first two. He fell asleep during the second one, so we have to rewatch it. But we'll go through the movies and then I'll let him watch them, or Cobra Kai, because I don't care if he hears the word fuck, because he's my kid. He's heard the word fuck like at least 7,000 times.
Mine too.
But like, I'm not Alex. Like violence is what I really have a problem with. And I don't think there's enough focus on that in this country. Like I mean, we've talked about like how did Hannibal make it on network television, even after 9 o'clock? Like that is so violent, and they're always worried about sex, but whatever. Like it's a huge part of life, right? No matter how you want to phrase it, sex is a huge part of life. Violence is not.
One could argue sex is life. So
yeah, it's the whole reason we're here. It's banging. But like if something hits that point where the violence is gratuitous, I just won't let him watch it. Or if it's like it's so much gore for no reason, I just won't let him watch it.
Context plays a lot into it.
With violence?
Yeah. In my opinion. And honestly, with sex as well. Like, I'm far more comfortable with Matthew watching a show, you know, like, for example, like Stranger Things, which does actually have stuff of like young people kind of discovering sexual relationships and having their first kisses and stuff like that. Yeah. That's way different than something like... Well, like, for example, my mom and I were talking here, it was either yesterday or the day before, because she was going to watch Mad Max Fury Road. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't really want Matthew to watch that.
That movie is entirely gratuitous.
And she was like, well, what's in there that you're not okay with? And I was like, honestly, it's not really any one specific thing, but like the whole concept of like, this guy has brides and he feeds his subjugates her breast milk and he uses her as a broodmare and stuff. I was like, an 11-year-old doesn't really need to watch that kind of shit. Like, it's not like it shows him having sex with them. It's not like it really goes into that. It's the context and the subject.
And you think back, like they never really kept us from watching anything.
No,
and look at how I turned out.
I subscribed very, very strongly. My parents... It's the cover your eyes theory. If I cover your eyes, I'm covering them for a reason. Don't peek through. Otherwise, you can watch the rest of the movie.
Oh, and I always peeked.
That's why I watched Aliens when I was 5.
There'd be movies I'd watch with my parents that it would almost be this, like, I'd turn to my dad with this kind of like embarrassed look and he'd give me this like, kind of
should I be seeing this?
Yeah. And my kids have done that not like since with me. Or it's like,
yeah,
we were watching Yellowstone the other day, which is actually a decent show. It's up there with Justified.
Okay.
In terms of like
isn't that the one with Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so bad in everything but Mr. Brooks.
But fuck it, Cole Hauser. Cole Hauser's in the series.
Okay? And that woman she's also in Sherlock Holmes. Plays Watson's wife. What's her name? Is it Riley? Is her last name Riley?
I'd have to Google it. I don't know.
She was in Flight. She played the one that ended up with like shacking up with him. Fuck.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Kelly Riley.
Kelly Riley. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's great.
She's awesome in every performance.
She's one of the best parts in Yellowstone. Wes Bentley, I could take her leave.
One of the best parts of True Detective season 2.
Yeah,
like she's just good at her job.
Oh, you mentioned Jared Harris earlier. That's because I'm on the Sherlock Holmes cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great in Yellowstone.
And she gets thrown off a bridge really well.
Costner
You can't say that about a lot of women.
is really secondary to the plot.
Is he?
He's there because he's like the patriarch of the fucking series, but there's these other subplot characters that are just beautifully portrayed. And like Cole Hauser, if you've ever seen him do anything, like he was great in
Pitch Black.
Also Paparazzi.
Yep.
Papa.
Not a good movie, but he was good in it.
He was good in it. Yeah.
He's good, but in several bad movies.
Yeah, he's great in Yellowstone. They dye his hair black, which I look past.
He was in a season of 24, wasn't he? That name sounds familiar, and I can't think of where I know him from.
He was in Good Will Hunting. Let me look up Cole Hauser real quick to see if he's in 24.
I don't know. Annabelle is asleep. Oh, all right.
Yay!
Matthew, are you still watching?
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was in 24. He's just kind of an uncomfortable looking dude.
Cole Hauser?
Yeah, he was
great.
Who are we saying had that uncanny valley look? Oh, the kid that plays Johnny's kid.
Yeah, the kid from Cobra Kai.
He's got the same look.
He looks like a human Ken doll.
Doesn't he look fake in all of those
like a
photos?
real person?
That's weird.
He looks like one of those Madame Tussauds wax sculpture things.
Yeah.
I don't see that necessarily. All right. Well,
that's funny.
Let's get on out of here. We've
got 3 hours of content.
In summation, watch Replicas, watch Rotor,
watch
Cobra Kai.
I want to circle back with you, Ron, after you've
favor.
watched Replicas. Watch Replicas.
Dude,
and learn some Juggalo speak. It could save your life.
Yeah, it could.
Especially if you're trekking across the Midwest.
No, I absolutely, before we do the next show, I need to watch Replicas because this sounds like something I would very much enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would enjoy talking with you about it for sure. So I'll talk on mic now. If you want to support us in some way, you can go to patreon.com/timespentpoorly. If you want to get on board with all of our social networks, go to timespentpoorly.com and you can subscribe right there. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and more. Watch us live on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, and Facebook every 2 weeks when we come on live and do these shows. The audio version is a great way to listen to the show, but if you want to interact with us, definitely check in live when we're live and chat in while we're talking about all the nonsense that we talk about. We had some fun this episode, so thanks again for joining us, and we will catch you next time. I've got old Hudds at Hudds Magruder here on my left. Have to learn my left and right again. And
you do.
Good old brother Ron has joined us for this episode. We've had a great extensive talk about a lot of things. I won't go into what, because we're going to break this up into mini. I'll tell you a secret, audio listeners. We break these episodes up into multiple episodes. So try and figure that one out. Anyway, thanks again for joining us. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Hudds.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a beautiful time.
And thanks to the 3 who are still watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging in
dedicated. There. I admire you.
It is late. Go to bed. Thank you so much.
You're clearly gluttons for punishment.
Punishment. He must be punished.
Time's been poorly enough. Calm, not fun. Calm, C-O-M.
Calm, like Kami.
Ba-dum-dum-dum.